Let me see.
Who last year in his 8th
All right,
and final
that's good.
season with Cincinnati hit 247 with 7 home runs, 48
That's good.
runs batted in.
Hell yeah, let's go Tigers.
Yeah, this is a real priority for them in acquiring this young man. I mean, this is a guy who is really dedicated to the defensive part of the game. Having watched.
All right, Barnhart's up, batting second. Riley Green grounded out, and that's where we are here in the top of the first. After Green, it'll be Baez. It's 0-1 here for
51 career home runs with the Reds.
Barnhart. It's up high, ball 1. 1-1.
Fastball high, 1 ball, 1 strike. So the other
Get my chat up 1 sec.
At Baycare Ballpark, we did not have the speed pitch, which is sponsored by Tasty Cake here at the Yard.
And here's the.
So I know we don't have it as part of our graphics right now, but it
weak
is
ground out should be the second out of the inning, and it
we'll
is.
Try to give it to you from time to time, as that one's grounded over to shortstop.
All right.
And Bryson Stott makes the play.
Yeah, Falter's right in the 90s, low 90s.
Looks like it sounds pretty good.
It is one of those fastballs that registers in the low 90s, but it's really, it gets on the hitter very, very quickly. It's almost like having a 95 or 96.
How we doing?
Because of his excellent extension out front.
Yeah, a lot of times that happens with taller pitchers. Now he's
all right. Javier Baez is up with 2 away.
Drive more than anything else.
Absolutely.
Here's
Felter, the pitcher for the Phillies. That'll be strike 1. Oh yeah, Rob, go Tigers.
And that is the pitch that he's really going to have to work on. If he can match.
Couple ground outs here to start the inning off for the Tigers. So now we have 2 away.
He's going to be in business.
Taking about 8 pitches to get here, so pretty economical inning for the Phillies.
Hit 31 home runs, 87 runs batted in
Oh,
last year.
you're a Alabama fan though. All right, all right.
Ball fouled back to the screen.
Yeah, another huge priority for Alex Avila, just making sure that he.
There's actually quite a bit of Michigan people who like the Alabama Tide.
A lot of problems with their
or Crimson Tide, I guess. I don't really know what the proper way is.
Pick it as well as anybody.
Not much of a college guy. I don't really follow the sport. Probably because where I went to college, all the sports are kind of bad. So.
2018 with 111. And a breaking ball, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
1 and 2, ball low. Scope would be next, but you know, if he gets out, that's the inning. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really get like my team has a good college baseball. My college has a good baseball team right now, but like that's about it. I guess gymnastics.
I believe he signed him just before the lockout.
Sometimes we're good at like basketball.
And we've come to realize that was probably better for the players when they were able to do
that. Hey, base hit by Baez. There we go, right to the left side of the infield. And Baez is on with 2 away.
The second baseman, Nick Maton, and the shortstop, Bryson Stott.
What's up, Paul?
Base runner with 2 men.
It's going pretty good. How's it going for you?
But there aren't too many fastballs.
I'm just like half writing a paper in my head right now, but it's pretty much done. I'm writing. I got to write a paper about. Well, I chose to write a paper. Yeah, I appreciate that. About V for Vendetta and how it's how that and the graphic novel are good examples of how literature functions as a cultural critic, as a particularly effective way to criticize various aspects of culture. Especially like in the graphic novel, because it's very similar to like a comic. And you know, comics are pretty much an amalgamation of culture, right? It takes a whole bunch of things and kind of examines them and whatnot. So, gotta write a whole paper about that. So that'll take like an hour, because I got the whole paper in my head, so it's all good. Stott, Bohm, and Harper to lead it off for the Phillies. Tigers go 1-2, guy reaches, and then the third out happens. So. Scope popped out, so it'll be Stott, Bohm, and Harper. I have no idea who's pitching today. Tyler Alexander's pitching today. Again, he's the emergency like 6th starter in the lineup. Hey, I appreciate you, Daniel. I appreciate it, man. Very, very kind. It's muted right now because it's a commercial break. You know, you don't really want to listen to boring commercials about buying MLB products. What's the latest on Fuller? Which Fuller? I'm sorry. Do you mean Fulmer? But thank you, Daniel. I appreciate that again, man. You're too kind. Fulmer, I think he's all right. He's just kind of like he's like a closer. I don't think he's even hurt right now, is he? Freddie Freeman. Oh, Freeman's making his debut today. Oh shit, hell yeah. All right. 4 o'clock against the Reds. Wonder if that's one of the free games of the week. Oh, it is too. You can watch the game too on MLB.TV, Daniel. You just got to turn it on and it'll be right there playing. Free and everything. Just make an account on MLB.com. Be pretty cool if he whaps a home run out of it. All right, game's back on. Alexander taking the hill for the Tigers this afternoon.
As Bryson Stott is rolling to the plate, let's take a look at the Phillies lineup brought to you by Xfinity. Supercharge your home with supersonic Wi-Fi. Only from Xfinity. So Bryson, all right,
it'll be Stott, Bohm, Harper, Hall, Sands, Verling, Matan, Williams, and Mozziati or something. So we get to see Harper today at least.
Going to get a chance to play a little bit more in center field moving forward. As the first pitch to Stott taken outside.
Yeah, Alexander's kind of like the emergency starter.
Field situation is going to be very interesting. I think Adam Hazler's going to get some opportunities now, maybe even more opportunities now that Odubel's kind of banged up.
Strike one.
He's got that
1-1 count for Stott.
Injury, and they're going to, I guess, do some imaging today on him and see.
Yeah, Fulmer's all good. He's expected to be like one of the back end guys. I'm expecting he's supposed to be the closer alongside Soto in some role.
Who last year in the minor leagues,
but a bit low and outside, 2-1.
With 16 home runs and 49 runs batted in. He, like Matt Vierling, found himself at 3 different levels a season ago.
Itchy ass leg.
The former top pick.
Here's the pitch.
Bills.
Oh,
Lines one out towards center field.
That might be a hit.
Riley Green is there.
Oh, Riley Green with a nice catch in center field. There we go, Riley. One away in the first after a nice play in center field. It's rare to see a Tigers defender actually leave his feet to make a play. So that's going to be a nice change of pace. Yeah, I think it'll vary, Paul, on the team we're playing, right? Like if there's more righties in the lineup for a save situation, it'll probably be smart to use like a Fulmer, right? Whereas if it's a bunch of lefties, you probably want to bring in Soto. I don't think teams really use a one closer mindset anymore, just because of that situation where it's like, unless you got like Mariano Rivera, Trevor Hoffman, Arnoldus Chapman type closers, which Soto might actually become. We're not really sure, right? He might actually be that guy. He added in a 5th pitch, so that's, or a 6th pitch. He's got like 5 or 6 pitches now. Who, Fulmer? Nah, I think he's accepted becoming a closer, or a reliever. That happens to a lot of starters. I would say the vast majority of really good relievers were actually starters at one point, that it just didn't work out. Like Mariano Rivera was a starter. Trevor Hoffman was a starter. He was actually a shortstop when he was drafted. Became a starting pitcher, couldn't do that, and then became a closer. Rivera, for example, Mariano Rivera was literally a starting pitcher when he started. Then, like, during the strike, they tried him out of the bullpen, and he was fucking dominant, and then he switched to a closer. He's like, oh, wait a minute, I like this way more. Here's the 1-2, and he grounds it to the left side of the infield. Shortstop has it, and hey, there we go. Torkelson makes a good play on a high throw. Little bit of a wonk throw by Baez. That's all right, though.
That's spring training for everybody. I mean, even Javi Baez. Nice play by Torkelson over there.
Good play by Torque at first, though, to make up for kind of a rough throw.
That's the one that I think first basemen fear the most, because that has a chance to be, that broken wrist possibility. Really nice.
Yeah, that's the scary play at first.
Right in the dome. That'll smart.
Bryce Harper standing in. Harper last year first in doubles, first in OPS.
Strike one to Harper, a bit outside though.
Slugging percentage.
Don't know if I agree with the call. Kind of seems a bit not that great. Hey, by the way, thank you for the 9 likes. I appreciate that. We're off to a good start.
He's just so consistent, all the way across the board, particularly in the second half, as we mentioned.
He stayed in the middle of the field so consistently, and that it kept him away from those longer slumps.
Beat ball
You know,
down
you
way
start
low.
blowing off the ball, and that's when you kind of get yourself in trouble. But I mean, you saw him maturing during the season right in front of your eyes, just utilizing the middle of the field, and then when somebody made a mistake, wow, damage.
He's hit the ball hard a couple
1-1
times
count
during the
here.
spring,
Let's see what we
but really
get
not
Harper
much to show
with,
for it
and
so
that'll
far.
be down low for ball 2.
In fact, yesterday in
Kind of trying to
Tampa,
stay out of the launch house of
right on the
Harper.
nose, but right at the
Kind of
second
stay
baseman,
where
just
you know
as
he
did
kind of
here a
struggles
couple
in the
days
zone
ago.
at.
Kind of like to call those the perfect spring training at bat. You hit a bullet.
Is that old
nice
guy his
at
dad
bat.
or something? They keep showing him.
Results don't matter. You're on time. You don't have to run the bases.
It'll be 2 and 2 rather. Sorry, I forgot he had 2 balls. 2-2 count now for Harper with 2 away in the bottom of the first. It was 0-0 game. Both sides looking for quick first innings.
Tyler Alexander, the guy on the mound, he's a guy that gives the Detroit Tigers a little bit of depth in their
I was gonna say, yeah, he's pretty
Probably
good
will
for
be a
that. Like,
sixth
because
guy
Michael Pineda
for
isn't
them,
exactly
but
cleared
he's
with
played a
visa
lot of
shit yet,
roles.
because it's
He's-
always weird with some of those
doesn't have
guys.
dazzling stuff. He's got
Especially
some
this late in
deception,
this
a little
the
bit
off
like,
season to sign him.
Falter, and it's got some deception with his
And that'll be
fastball.
strike 3. 1-2-3 go the
AC
Phillies.
Maurice.
All right, gonna mute it because it's going to commercial break. Good first inning. Yeah, I heard it. Yeah, it caused a scene on social media. Made everybody freak out. Grossman, Torkelson, and I guess Reyes? Nope. Grossman, Torkelson, and Harold Castro. Grossman, Torkelson, and Harold Castro. Top of the second coming up. 0-0 game. Commercial break. Yeah, LeBron did his thing against Cleveland. He destroyed him. The Cavs should start a tank process so that way they can get his son, so that way LeBron will come and finish his career in Cleveland. Back where it all started. This time they have the new LeBron. LeBron 2, even more LeBron-y. Get it? Because his nickname is Bronny. Pretty good, huh? Excuse me. Just try not to laugh so hard I coughed. Well, I mean, I think also, yeah, that is pretty crazy. It's pretty sad for the rest of the league. It's like none of you guys can stop this guy. He's literally 40 years old almost. You're 20 years old and you can't stop this giant old man. But I also kind of understand it because it's similar to why Brady's still succeeding. It's like, well, they got the brain of someone who's been in the league for 20 years. This game is a game to them at this point. They understand every ebb and flow of the game so well. And the fact that their body can still respond to what they want to do mentally is actually kind of almost an unfair advantage if you actually like really stop to think about it. Because Brady, for example, is playing against a bunch of 20-year-olds who are new in the league or just a few years in. He has 20 years. He has their lifetime of experience, and he's still able to like perform in the league. So it's like, man, he knows so much compared to the average NFL player or the average NBA player. So he's able to kind of leverage that, on top of still being able to physically perform. It's cool to see guys do that. Baseball doesn't have that liability. You can play as long as you got to, but once the body goes, it's all over. Look at Bartolo Colon. Big old boy was throwing till he was mid-40s almost. I think he's still playing in like pro leagues across international baseball.
It's just absolutely beautiful today.
You can even throw Bartolo Colon into that mix of freak guys who can just continue to play long into the way they're not supposed to. Of course, Brady is probably the more impressive of the situations, but I guess not really with the quarterback, because you could argue LeBron because of the game he's playing. It's all complicated. But again, with baseball, it's not as uncommon to see a guy last into his late 30s and even broach the 40s. Probably will get more common too as the DH is extended into the National League. And
he's had some saves.
Grossman takes ball 1.
About 125 saves in his career.
Top of the second getting underway here. It'll be Grossman again. It'll be Grossman, Torkelson, and Harold Castro.
That's probably where
Familia pitching now for the Phillies.
decisions last year with New York. An ERA of 3.9.
Yeah, Pujols, Cruz.
He's facing Randy
I'm
Grossman.
pretty sure Randy Johnson almost hit 40. I know Nolan Ryan pitched into his 40s. Bartolo Colon played into his 40s.
Lundy basically said this guy's already taken over kind of as a leader. They're kind of gravitating towards him, you know, and that's a good thing. This guy's been through the wars.
It's getting more common.
Ball hit foul down the left field line. I don't think there's any chance
Julio Franco. Yeah, there's probably a number of guys who actually played into Kenny Rogers.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
If I was to sit here and really think about it, you could really start listing out a number of guys. I think Barry Bonds played until his 40s, didn't he?
We typically did. And I think Dave Dombrowski's kind of the same mindset that, you know, you can bring in guys like Brad Hand, you bring guys like Juris Familia, guys who have been there and done it. Obviously, Knebel is a guy who's going to likely be the closer. Again, guys with experience who have pitched deep into the games and had success.
Over to first base, Derek.
I think Pujols will.
And he brings it to the bag, so Grossman's retired. And 1 out here in the second.
He'll probably return, especially with the National League DH.
And Spencer Torkelson, first pick overall a couple years ago by the Tigers, will be the hitter.
Yeah, what a monster year last year. I mean, he ended up playing in 3 different levels. But
why doesn't it tell me how old he was when he retired?
29 doubles, 30 home runs, and over 500 plate appearances. I mean, he had an OPS of 935. I mean, this guy raked last year, and pretty impressive. He struggled a little bit last spring, though. I think he only had 1 hit in about 20 appearances.
But the Tigers are thinking that he's going to go to Detroit with them this year.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what A.J. Hinch had mentioned. They want these guys to break with the team, and Alex Avila has absolutely no issues with letting these young players play. He wants the best 26 players he can bring to the.
It just doesn't say.
Bring to Detroit.
And that is a fair ball down the right field line.
Hey, that'll be a double. It looks like, depending on.
So Torkelson.
Oh, never mind. Torque has to stay at first.
And a 1-out single.
That's weird. I literally just tried to Google search how old, and it's just not on there. It's like, you don't get to know how old he was. You got to do math. It's like, well, suck my dick. I ain't going to do any of that math. That sounds stupid. Yeah, look at the Tigers. Key players added Tucker Barnhart, Eduardo Rodriguez, Michael Pineda, and, of course, Javier Baez.
Eduardo Rodriguez, obviously, with the big contract, and Javier Baez. Those are really big contracts, but they're also really important.
One away with the runner at first. Of course, Grossman got out, and now Torkelson has a double, or a long single anyway. And top second, 1 on, 1 out. And here's Harold Castro hitting Harold.
Young pitching staff with guys like Mize.
Philly's about to find out why he's widely known as hitting Harold.
Rotation and a little bit of depth. Tyler Alexander, I would say kid, but Tyler Alexander as well is going to be like probably their 6th starter. Yeah,
I was going to say Tyler's the 6th starter because we don't know how well Pineda is going to be ready to go.
3 home runs, 37 runs batted in.
That's the beauty of Tyler. That's why we got to keep him around. He's a good reliever, and he's also good for if you need like 4 or 5 innings of a spot start.
Laid on a fastball.
He'll eat innings crazy. Or if your pitcher has a bad start, you bring in Tyler.
That's the thing, that if he gets that sinker going consistently, I mean,
Braves, is that your prediction? Dodgers, Braves, NLCS? I have the
you got to have a lot of success in the back end of the bullpen, and again,
I don't even know who to meme yet. I got the Padres winning the NL, and the Tigers probably winning the American League again. So I'm kind of leaning on a Tigers-Padres World Series pretty soon. You know, and that's what's crazy? I'm not actually impossible to have that happen in like a year or 2. Like that could actually wind up being a World Series matchup in like 2 years, which is crazy awesome to think about.
Right now,
as long as the Padres don't self-implode and the Tigers just don't develop right. I mean, think about that. I mean, I'm not really that far off to think that I might actually get my my one wish in baseball, a World Series title for one of my teams. And in that case, I win either way. I'd be like, hey, every win's a win. I would just hope the Tigers would win over the Padres, I'll be honest. But I could live with the Padres doing it, you know.
I mean, it was a devastating splitter. He threw it like 97 miles an hour back in the day when he was.
I just wish they didn't play every game at 10 goddamn p.m. I can't stay up that late like that.
Well, that's 96 right there.
And Hitting Harold strikes out. I guess the Phillies figured out a way around the enigma that is known as the hitting machine Harold. Now up is Daz Cameron. Probably right now the leader to win the alternate outfielder job.
It's more of a four-seamer. It drifts a little bit into the middle of the.
It's gotta suck for a player like Daz Cameron to be looking at Riley Green going, damn, this guy's like the presumed starter, and I don't even have a spot. I played in the majors.
2 outs.
It's like, yeah, but you hit 194 last year.
Pick of the Houston Astros, who the Tigers acquired.
Yeah, move to LA. Yeah, that'd be all. Like if I ever became a big-time content maker, I would move to Colorado first. Like Southern Colorado. That'd be pretty close. Same time zone at that point, right?
As a high schooler, you know, he was going to go high because he had so much talent. And obviously the bloodlines, being the son of Mike Cameron.
I already know where I'm going to go if I run into some loot.
Well, you know, physically very, very impressive. He just
Colorado would be
the
dope.
guy that Houston thought he would be. Then obviously traded him off to Detroit.
Little roller or chopper up to third.
He could be trade bait, but also I think they see Cameron as a value, like, because it's either him or Hill, right? Like that's to me the real thing. And I think Hill already makes. Oh, by the way, there's an error. Well, a bad fielding attempt by Bohm. Cameron reaches via error, I believe.
I do not believe that he had a chance to throw him out right there, but
that should be an error. I don't know.
Obviously, the only chance to get this guy is with a bare hand. Fortunately, Alec doesn't come up with that one.
Oh, they're gonna rule it as a hit.
But I do know this: Alec's been working really.
Boy, it's nice to be at home, isn't it?
You know, on the backfields all the time, and Dickerson's been working with.
If you're on the road, they rule that shit in error.
More about that because it's such an important
maybe not, because you know they give yourself a hit.
Team is that defense, but Alec's really working at it.
Yeah, after the 6th inning is when the game gets kind of weird. Now up is Derek Hill. Ah, shit.
Well, he's going to get a chance to work on it a little bit more. This time on the glove side. His throw is wide.
Oh, he got pulled off the bag. Bases loaded for Detroit. Hill's speed comes into play there as as they had to hurry the play up, and the first baseman got pulled out. And of course, with Hill having the speed, he was able to get there quickly enough to win a. Yeah, I think Cameron will be all right as a 4th guy, but I think they're going to keep 5 outfielders because Derek Hill is just literally too fast to not play. And he actually somewhat does something with the bat. Like, he hits decent enough to justify having him around. Now we're at the top of the lineup with Riley Green with the bases loaded. 2 away. Top of the 2nd, 2 away, bases chock full of Tigers. And here comes rookie Riley Green, and that'll be ball 1.
Riley Green takes outside.
Watched Giants last night. I almost fell asleep after a few minutes. Yeah, it's weird because it's like once the starters leave, it's like, well, what am I watching? I don't care about minor league baseball.
Unless he dragged it with his toe.
I don't know. That would have been close. We do not have replay.
Yeah, Hill's pretty, and he's very, very good defensively with his speed and with the glove. And someone tried to tell me he's injury prone, and I was like, well, he's not really injury prone. He got he got hurt last year. Well, I mean, he got tackled basically by Badu on accident. Both those guys got hurt.
I don't know.
You got some time though to get around it.
Hell yeah, Randy. Appreciate what you do for FedEx, man. You provide a very good service to this world.
2 balls,
Appreciate
no
it.
to Riley Green. Bases loaded here in the top of the 2nd.
That'll be strike 1, 2-1 count. Good take. But yeah, I'm glad the Tigers are back this year. Glad we get some Tigers baseball. Promising season is upon us. 500 almost seems like a given. It's the fun part of will this team be a playoff team? That's a fun thing to feel about Tigers baseball, and it's not even people being in jest. It's nice to just hear people going, shit, if they have a good season, they could very well be a team. And even now, it's not that we're not even a laughing stock. It's, yeah, this team's like a year or 2 away. So that's what most, even though the most dick-headed fans say. It's like, well, about 2 years, yeah, this is going to be a problem team. I'm a little more optimistic because, again, I really like the team, and I've been right to be a little overly optimistic with Alavila's moves, with what we've been able to accomplish in terms of player development, with with Brad Hinch around now, or AJ Hinch, not Brad Osmus. 3-2. By the way, if we had Brad Osmus, he'd fuck this up. All right, here we go. Big at bat for Riley Green. Full count, bases loaded. Got to be a smart swing. See what he does.
Affect guys starting, the starters as far as pitch counts.
Oh, it just got blown by.
Blows away Riley Green with the bases loaded here in the second inning.
Yeah, good April means good postseason, pretty much. I would say so as well, because we play better as the season goes along. Always have for some. The Tigers always do that. They start off terribly, and then by about mid-April, they kick it in. So we'll hopefully, it's like it's an unseasonably warm Detroit, and then we kind of get a small boost in that. By the way, it's end of the inning, sadly. Strikeout with the bases loaded. Never want to see that, but they blew it right by Riley Green. It happens. Bottom of the second coming up. It'll be Hall, Sands, and Vierling. Hall, Sands, and Vierling for these Philadelphia Phillies. It's a commercial break right now, though. White Sox, Twins, and Tigers, I think. Yep. Oh, yeah, Brad was the worst shit ever. But that's also somewhat because they didn't win it. And then Illich's bastard son took over the team and decided to rebuild the team in a different image. And by the way, things are going. I think his plan is working. I understand the frustration that he's a bit cheap, and he is. He's a bit of a cheap ass. But ultimately, I think signing Baez over Correa is going to pan out as a good move because, that Correa guy is really self-absorbed, isn't he? Baez seems like he's all in and fits this team's identity almost to a core. Like, you could pluck in Javier Baez on those old Tiger teams where the chemistry was so strong and was so pronounced that the team was you just felt that the team worked with each other. And Baez fits that. I think that's a very good chemistry signing over Correa. What's up, Luke? Thanks for checking in. Yeah, Green struck out with the bases chalked. They threw a ball right by him on the inside. Hey, man, that's going to be the growing pains of rookies that he'll eventually catch up. That's a major league pitcher. He just was like, I'm going to fucking gas it. Let's see if this kid can hit it. Because if Green hits it, that's probably a grand slam. Look where it's at. It's on the inside corner, low and inside to a lefty. You don't throw that pitch to a veteran. That's, hey, rookie, can you hit this pitch? Not yet? Okay. Yeah, I appreciate the like, man. I know, I understand. You guys got schools and classes and shit. I appreciate you tuning in when you could, man.
Hello with Ruben tomorrow. I'm Tom McCarthy here in Clearwater, Florida.
I hope they start off, Randy. If they start off hot, this is going to be they could steal the division. If they can finish April with like 18 wins, they literally might be the best one of the better teams in the American League.
Outside of Venice, Florida.
Traffic is going to be a little.
I don't mind the Guardians name simply because Cleveland is the Guardian City, right? Like that is kind of like their motto. But the issue is like when you have the Spiders, and I think Sony was willing to cooperate with them and let them kind of adapt the Spider-Man as their logo. It's a bad pick. Like they could have been Spider-Man. Like they could have had Spider-Man or some variation of Spider-Man as their logo, as their mascot, and they messed all that up. Sorry, that's an L. They shouldn't even get a team name. They should be Cleveland baseball team for a while. His sister is the baseball line, but she has personal demons that would derail the organization. That's what I feel. But I see Chris is also putting together, like, Chris's plan for the baseball team is similar to the Red Wings. Develop a super young core of very talented young players, right? And that's exactly what the Tigers have done, whether it be pitching and on the field, both elements. We actually haven't seen the Tigers actually build this effectively under his dad, whose mindset was more, yeah, we're just going to throw a bunch of money at the best players. And, I mean, it worked, but it ultimately did it win anything? No. I know we wish Chris was more like his dad and would just blow money away, but it's like, that didn't work. It didn't win a title. It hadn't won a title since 1984, that method or that methodology. What was working and what is proving to be true is the way that the Astros won a title, the way that the Royals won their title, the way that a number of teams win titles, which is build a young core, have a bad couple years sometimes. Two away now here in the bottom of the second. Good pitching so far by Ty. Here's Verling due up now with 2 away in the bottom. You build a young core and then you put the pieces in that you didn't draft very well in free agency. Those are when you build on. That's what you build on is the draft, not on. You don't build on free agency on building on free agency. That's not an effective way to do things. And we see that the only team that has success in that is the Dodgers, and they won one title and they spent look what they do. They've won once. in the lockout year.
The first pitch low. He's DHing today.
When that was probably the most likely thing that they'd win. It's like, wow, can they win a 162-game season?
If he was going to have one more year of going down and playing.
I don't know. They haven't done it.
Who is
Look at the Braves. I mean, they built a super young core, then went and got the pieces that they needed.
Phillies prospect was sent out yesterday, and that was
it's every team. It's the Astros. Look at the way the Royals did it. They just didn't keep the pieces. The Astros are still a good team, but they're struggling to keep some of the pieces. So small market, it's a good way to do it. If you're a big market like technically the Tigers are, and I know it sounds silly to say, but Detroit is a large market baseball team. Yeah, if we can have a winning, we could take 500 April's wild card. So Detroit's kind of got that big market appeal for baseball anyway, and hockey. Not so much football, but baseball and hockey they do, especially since the owners are super rich and known to spend. And by the way, Illich is spending like $130 million, $140 million on the team now, and that's almost like $70 million more than last season. So we can kind of pump it on the Illich a little bit that he won't spend. He literally has said he's willing to spend, and he goes and busts bank on Eduardo and Hop. It's like, come on, guys, he did spend money, and but also you got to remember, we can't go too crazy on the signings. Candelario's contract is coming up. There's a number, like Candy's contract, there's going to be eventually in like 6, you got other contracts to worry about. But Candelario's due, so he's going to have to get paid. I think the Tigers took a page from them as well. Build from the young core. But like the A's are just so cheap and don't pay anybody. The Cardinals do it beautifully because they'll pay good players sometimes. But yeah, the way that those guys do it, you build a super young core and fill the pieces in. That's what we're seeing the Tigers do finally. And that's not a bad thing. By the way, that was the third out of the inning. It'll be Barnhart, Baez, and Scope. The build has been going beautifully, but and I'm glad Avila hasn't really steered off course of what his mission was. And I'm glad that I've always been on the Avila train from the get-go. I seen the vision from the start. I was like, oh, okay, we're finally going to do what other teams do. Thank the fucking Lord we're done doing the money thing. I was getting tired of that. Yeah, they've been good every year, and it's the way they do it. Well, Moneyball helps them out quite a bit, so that's a little different. I just got the Tigers at over 78.5 wins. That should be easy money because they could easily win 79-80. Yeah, the Tigers looked bad, but you could see the vision that was coming from the team, right? It was we're shedding bad contracts. We're going to keep Miguel. Once we get rid of these bad contracts, we're going to have to bad year to accrue some draft picks, and they got the picks. They didn't miss once on these draft picks. I'm talking, dude, they were like they've been hitting on draft picks at a scary rate. Like, dude, they'll get a prospect from a team, and that guy will hit. Like they developed so many prospects recently. It's actually kind of astonishing that they're gonna have 2 rookies make the team. The fact that Tarek Skubal, Casey Mize, Matt Manning, Gregory Soto, they developed Michael Fulmer. And this is all under in one era of Tigers. This has been going on underneath our noses and shit. So, of course you have some misses because baseball's kind of hard. You draft guys at 19 years old. You don't know how it's going to play out. Brad Hand is pitching for the Phillies now.
Third inning, third pitcher for the Phillies. Veteran left-hander Brad Hands is the
looks like Phillies are going to go a different pitcher. Yeah, Al's doing a good job. It just took a second for the results to start to show fruit, and they had to get the right coach. Gardy was a good bridge coach to get us out of the ass-missed era. But Gardenhire, I don't know. They maybe should have just let Gene Lamont or Lloyd. No, not Lloyd. What the hell's his name? The hitting coach. Be the 1-year head coach till they can get someone like Gardenhire. Because, boy, oh boy, that was a terrible decision. The team would have respected and responded a lot better to Gene Lamont as the head coach for a couple years than they did. Because the veteran players on the Tigers had this much respect for Brad Ausmus. Dude, you could see it. He'd be talking to guys, and they'd turn around and walk away from him. And he'd reach out, be like, and then they just shake their head, and he'd just shrug it off and look the other way, like defeated like a bitch. And I'm like, dude, what is this? Why is he the head coach of a baseball team? They don't like this guy. He just retired. They're like, this is Brad Ausmus. Why do we give a shit? One away by Barnhart, who flies out. Now up is Baez. Like him trying to tell Cabrera what to do looked like the Lloyd McClendon. Thank you, I appreciate it, Daniel. Like McClendon should have been the head coach. They'd all listen to him. The chemistry wouldn't have went bad. They wouldn't have. He wouldn't have made the dumbest decision I've ever seen a coach do. Okay, so you have Justin Verlander, and you have, and I understand the dilemma that he was in, right? Who's your opening day starter, right? Is it David Price or is it Justin Verlander?
As strange as it sounds,
you know what you do? You go with Justin Verlander because Justin Verlander had recently won the MVP as a pitcher, and
a season ago he allowed 10 runs. That's a lot.
Yeah, he literally was it the let me guess, the one, because one of the first things this idiot did was start Price.
Probably my fault more than anybody. Wait a minute, there was a problem with me not seeing the other day. We got to be careful.
All right, it's back.
I'll call it. That was a breaking ball in the dirt for ball one.
Goodness. All right, this will work now. You know, this really would have helped the other day. And I'm honest with people. I did not feel it. I really didn't. I think we were talking about this.
All right, there we go.
Right, you broke a nail.
I broke one of my nails.
Do I need a mask, really?
That's helpful. I think that's helpful.
That's what happened Saturday. We make fun of fans for being on their phone while games are going on.
I'll tell you what. Thank
Broadcasters too.
That's a very good.
They brought that dude a whole catcher's mask to put on. 2-0, 2 away.
Yes, you have.
I don't know what happened there. I apologize.
They weren't as comfortable in years past as they are now.
No, you look very comfortable right now.
I do feel very comfortable. Listen, I really appreciate the fact that you're always looking out for me. Seriously.
What was I talking about? Hold on.
I love.
Oh, the Verlander. Yeah, was I right though, Paul, about the Verlander Price decision being sort of the thing that crashed that team down?
How great he looks. Doesn't he look good? Yeah.
That's great.
3-1 count here for Scope.
Yeah. He trimmed him up a little.
Sure did. Listen, I appreciate it, buddy. I really do. Thank you. Thank you.
He's very kind.
I've never shook the
And that'll be inside ball 4.
That's the first.
Yeah. Jonathan Scope is going to get a free pass.
Scope there.
Well,
Tom, I think it's a really good look for you.
Yeah, thank you. I like the visor.
You never know what's going to happen up here in this booth.
Does that mean we can keep this stuff?
Of course.
It's going good. It's going good. I have to write a paper in a little bit that I've been putting off, but it's not really specifically due at any point.
So Scope's over at first, the 2-out walk, and it brings Robbie.
But I want to have it done. It was due a minute ago, but the teacher's not real specific on due dates.
With the Tigers, 239.
Best thing about grad school, so far nothing's ever been due at a very specific time. It's been roughly due at this point.
Swing and a miss.
English literature, so it's pretty fucking crazy topic. But I'm focusing on creative writing. I think I'm almost done with theory classes. I think this might be my last one. I think I had to take 2 of them.
That's the difference. He's going to have to.
And I got away with 2 professors who like me already, so I'm just gonna slide right through these theories. And they know I'm a writer too, so they tend to show pity on me in the theory classes. And they also can see that I'm literally studying like I'm a writer. I'm not I'm not fucking I'm not cut out for the theory world. I respect it, and I'm gonna be basically just studying how in this class culture and literature, how I think literature is a super effective way of critiquing various aspects of a culture that it's written in, and how it can oh wow, what a play by the wow. Good play. Which is good. Fuck the shift, but that's a crazy play. Yeah, I want to be a writer. I've been thinking about getting into sports writing and stuff like that. That's probably what I'll do. I'd like to have a high degree, though, so people know I understand the craft really, really well. But yeah, I think that I heard he would have to break the team after that laid it down on him. Yeah, that makes sense, Paul. That makes sense. He seems like a wildly unlikable guy. But we'll go to the bottom of the third. It's 0-0 still. Yeah, I wasn't a big Osmus guy. I knew it was a bad hire from the start. Matan, Williams, and Mozziotti. I have to hear his name again. Yeah, it'd be fun to be a sports writer. But there's a lot of things I could do with the writing degree. There's a lot of weird fields I could get into. I could meet somebody in the next couple months or years that is doing a startup out of a business thing, and they're like, "Listen, we need someone who's somewhat creative and can write really, really well. Do you want to be a part of this?" And then I get in part of it as someone who helps like just on the back end of things, producing written statements, producing speeches for the company, all those various things, and suddenly the company takes off, and then I'm in a really good position with the company as the guy who just kind of handles random shit. That happens a lot to people with writing degrees, to be honest. Wish I was studying something to do with sports, but I don't want to make my passion something I end up hating, and I know that happens to a lot of people. Yeah, that makes sense. I went with writing because it's something I didn't even know I was good at it until I went to college, and then I found out I was really good at writing. So I just kind of went with what I was really good at. Plus, like, I read extremely well. I write, apparently I write well. So it all just made sense. I initially wanted to go be a civil rights lawyer, but then like they told me law was dead. So I was like, all right, I'm out on law. I'm gonna go just do English then. Won the MVP in 2014.
Until last year, Maton rips one into right field. That'll be in for a base hit.
Yeah, the year the shift happened was bad. Oh, that'll be a double.
And he'll get to second base with the Phillies' first
leadoff double for Matan. Yeah, that'd be pretty fun.
He's a pretty aggressive hitter.
We'll see. We'll just see how everything goes. I still got like a year, maybe another year and a half to finish school, and then who knows where I go from that. Yeah, the team no-no's over. Hutchinson is pitching now though, so it makes sense.
That means you have a really nice.
I could wind up getting a PhD offership, and I could go become a doctorate, or I don't know what happens next after a master's degree.
It's the first pitch foul, and it's 0-1.
So we'll find out.
I'd really like to see this guy pull this ball on the ground and move him to third somehow. And situational hitting is something that's going to be a very important part of this team, and offense is important. When you're trying to make a team, you want to impress. I think one of the ways to do that is
probably not, Daniel. You're probably right.
It's also about doing the right thing.
If we do, it'd be super early again. 0-1 until the hitters are kind of caught up.
The ball's at 2 strikes to Williams.
Now he's got to go into battle mode. Now
I think hitting always lags behind pitching in baseball. Yeah, last year was one of the worst examples of hitting lagging behind the pitching. I think that was an extreme example of the phenomenon.
Ball back to the screen. Fanatics made his way down to the
shift. Yeah, the shift also helps quite a bit. What's freezing for you? That sucks. It's 40 degrees here, and it looks like it's going to start raining at any point. So
going through the crowd even here.
It's a bit of a bummer.
At Big Care Ballpark.
Yeah, so fun for the.
We got a 1-2 count with a runner at second after a leadoff double. We're in the bottom of the third of a scoreless game between the Tigers at Phillies.
Yes.
0-0.
I mean, who doesn't love the Philly Fanatic?
No outs. Here's the pitch.
Tommy Lasorda didn't love him.
No.
And
Williams down on strikes.
Williams strikes out. Mozziotti or something.
1 out here in the third. Second strikeout for Tigers pitching.
Mozziotti. I don't want to see.
Drew Hutchinson has always been one of those guys who's always had a big arm. It's been a question as to whether or not he could throw.
Last season was too many no-hitters in basketball season, too many high-scoring players.
Right,
yeah, I seen that. The Pistons had back-to-back guys go for like 50 and then like 40-something. Hilarious. Mozziotti.
Signed back in 2016 after being with the Red Sox at the age of 16. The Phillies were able to pick him up and have had him ever since.
Pretty good numbers, 296, 755
One
OPS.
thing that we've noticed with a lot of these kids who have seen in camp from year to year, size. The difference from year
That'll
to
be a
year.
run.
There he lines one into right center field.
The runner scores. It'll be 1-0 Phillies, and the Phillies are off to their cheating ways again. As someone once said, nothing good happens in Philadelphia.
One of the things that I've noticed about this kid, he's got an excellent bat pad. Watching him take BP,
It's called a joke, though. I'm
actions,
just playing
everything
it
he
off.
does,
But thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it very much. You're very, very kind.
excellent. He gets a fastball out over the
No, I'm
plate.
looking at Canada right now, though. I live on the U.S. Okay, so you live right where you live pretty close. Like a lot of people in Michigan.
For his first RBI
You live kind of like
of
looking
the-
at that weird.
of the spring.
Like, boy, we live further north than a lot of Canada
Right
is.
here.
Well, so that's part
Weird.
of his game, isn't it, Ruben? Taking a bag because he is not a home run hitter. I know he hasn't
I really don't have
stolen
a problem
whole
with
lot
the
of
shift.
bases
If
in
dudes
his
could
career, but he
consistently
needs to
lay
be
down an
a
effective bunt, the
plus
teams would
base
rethink it. Yeah, I agree with that statement about the bunt. but,
same thing with winter ball.
um,
Hit a home run. So he's gonna have to
The
run
shift,
bases, right?
Yeah, speed
I
is
I feel like
definitely
it's
part of his
overused
game,
and sort of a crutch.
He's going to have to show those things off. I'd love to
I don't
see
know.
this guy
It needs to be
aggressive.
effectively
There was a
limited
time
because I think
when
there's
some
sort of a.
managers would almost make
It sort of
these
is an
guys
unfair
steal base
advantage to
within
the
first two
defense
pitches.
and
Now, I don't
pitching
think
side
they
of
have that
baseball where
rule
they
on
don't
right
really
now,
need it,
especially
where
guys
it's
who are
already
base runners,
extremely
because you wanted to see
difficult
whether
to
they
hit a baseball
have that
and
instinct,
put it
that
in
cat
play.
burglar instinct, you know, where guys
So
are
I kind of view those
aggressive to
rules
do so.
and the sentiment of the shift as like an inherently anti-offensive mindset in baseball. You're basically saying, well, either learn how to do one of the most difficult things to do in sports, which is hit a baseball, and now you have to learn how to do it the other way, which is already immensely difficult for most people, even in the pro sport.
Like I said, I love his actions out there. He throws
Or
well, he does
you
a lot
just
of
hit
things
home runs
very
or
well,
strike
and
out. It's like I don't know. It's like putting way more onus on pitcher, like the hitters again. My counter argument against the shift and people in favor, it's like, well, why do they have to respect baselines then? Isn't it just good strategy to run a triangle and just dip dodge and get the hell out of the way of the guy trying to tag you in any possible way? As long as you go from first to second, why is the path there relevant if defensive alignment is irrelevant? I'd be fine with the shift if you were allowed to just do, oh, by the way, wild ball or pass ball, it'll get the runner down to second with one away. Oh, it was a walk anyway,
Yeah, I
okay.
was kind of surprised that Drew Hutchinson's got a very big
I get the
leg.
bunting argument, but I also have the same sentiment still. Why do we have to respect these baselines? They're arbitrary, just like defensive alignment, right? Turnbull's no-hitter was awesome. Yeah, and they see, Luke, baseball doesn't understand that. They have inherently anti-offensive rules. Tiger lost what? Oh, this game? Probably. It's the preseason. I don't really care. Uh-oh. Oh, popped it up.
Pops one up. Back to second base.
Infield fly?
Rule has been
I'm going to say it's the infield fly anyway.
Right there.
Batters out, 2 away. Runners in first and second. 2 on, 2 out.
2 outs.
Hey, Phillies have a 1-0 lead. Bottom of the third. These games effectively end in the 6th inning when a bunch of randos start popping in.
He's hooking balls on the ground and he's kind of
You know,
flailing balls.
I don't know. I guess I just don't really like the shift. I think it just hurts offensive baseball. And by the way, I like pitching more than I like hitting. But it just feels like a stacked advantage against the batters. Exactly, T. Exactly. It's just preseason.
Probably get things going here pretty soon.
Yeah, I know. This is why I don't really mind. Once the real players leave the game, I'm like, oh, it's all right. I just like to see what the future might look like. See who might be getting traded at toward the deadline if the Tigers are in any kind of contending position.
No balls and 1 strike to Bryce Harper.
0-1 for Harper, the reigning NL MVP. Best player in the National League, by the way.
And a line drive out to right field.
Fuck.
The ball was scorched. Rounding
Get it home.
Heading for home is Muzziotti. The throw goes to third. It'll be an RBI single for
They literally could have got the guy at home.
2-0 lead.
What a bad decision in right field to go home with it. Who's in right field? Is that Daz? Why didn't he go home with it?
Tom, I really like the bat speed I'm seeing out of Bryce Harper.
The guy going to third was sliding in as the ball reached third, and the guy going home was not home yet.
Got a nice jump from second base.
Yeah, what's up, CWO?
But I thought Daz Cameron just kind of took the wrong.
Yeah, Paul, exactly. You know, that's what I like about it too. It's a good reason. Home.
It's basically a one hopper. He's still got a shot to get the guy. And
Literally, they could have got. Yeah, that's not good. That's a bad fielding decision by Daz. That could hurt him. That ball should have went. Even the Phillies announcers were like, "Well, he probably should have went home with that. That's you go home with that ball." Yeah, literally, he had to play at the plate. That's really bad throw. Like that's a bad decision by Daz Cameron. Oof.
Paul last year
should have just threw it to the cutoff guy. The cutoff guy probably could have fucking whipped it home on him. Probably Hill and Reyes. Yeah, I would say so. Probably Reyes because I think Hill's going to make the team regardless.
It's a matter of whether he's able to do that more consistently.
And Daz should know better. He comes from a baseball family.
In Lakeland in the first, I believe in his first game, but
he should have known the speeds of the guys on the bases too.
Have to prove it at the major league level.
0-2 count for Hutchinson, and he strikes the batter out. So good, good comeback there. And yeah.
Over that breaking ball for strike 3, and that ends the inning.
All right, well, the Phillies.
So the Phillies strike and score a couple runs here. The Phillies score 2 to make it 2-0 heading into the top of the 4th. Phillies lead 2-dip heading into the top of the 4th. It'll be Torkelson, Castro, and Cameron. Torkelson, Harold Castro, and Daz Cameron here in the top of the 4th. 2-0 Phils. 1 sec. Oh, got it now. See that? All is good. So, how's everybody doing? Hopefully quite well. Dun 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 dun. But yeah, Torkelson, Harold Castro, and some other guy bat this inning, which is one of our favorite players. Oh, it's Daz. Well, he better hit a home run to make up for it. Yeah, Miggy's getting a day off. Miggy played pretty late into yesterday's game, though. I think he played till like the 7th or 8th inning or something. Well, he DH'd anyway. Another new pitcher for the Phillies, 4th inning, 4th new pitcher. Dominguez is pitching now for the Phils. Girardi's on his AJ Hinch shit that one game last year where we won, where we used 8 different pitchers. Does anybody else remember that game, or was that a fever game, that like a fever dream game that happened, where the Tigers pitched a bunch of randoms? Like it was literally like 8 different dudes pitched in one game, and we actually won the game somehow. And it was one of those like, damn, what a bold strategy by AJ Hinch. That way, no one got overused or something. Because it was after a game where we had just played the Twins, and I believe we used like it was one of them bad Twins games where everybody scored like 80 runs. Both teams did. And then I think the next day they used like 9 different pitchers to win the game. Or was that a fever pit? It was fever thing, a fever dream.
Everything feels good, and good to get the first one out of the way.
Hey, Brad, it's Ruben Amaro. Nice to meet you. And, have they talked about what?
Oh, it's player interviews now.
In this bullpen?
No, not yet. Just we'll figure that out probably later in camp. But I'm good with whatever inning Joe decides to put me in. Whatever he sees fit to help us win some ball games. I'll be ready to go.
I know that stability is always important for a player. Are you excited?
All right, CWO. You want to see a hobby bomb? That'd be pretty cool.
No doubt. Last year was
or a Torkelson bomb. One of these young cats, or other than Riley Green hit one out. Torque could use a home run or 2 in camp so he can make this team.
For the whole year, and excited to get going.
I think Riley's probably going to make it based on the way he's been playing, but if he's 0 for 2 today and looking a little bit more normal, so we'll see.
No, not really.
He's down to 333 as an average. Normal extra innings, I want to see a 15-inning game or some wild shit. I don't remember that, but I tend to stop watching around July, August for a bit because it's so nice out. Yeah, Luke.
nothing.
Unfortunately, I think for a little while into the regular season, they're going to still do the runner at second base this year. They might need it for the whole season because of the lockout and the fact that pitchers had a short off season. They kind of want to keep it around a little bit. I think Torque just got out. Oh, never mind, foul ball.
No, I went about it.
0-2, the count remains.
Like we would start spring training February 14th, so you know, I was lucky enough to be in South Florida where I had
the Tigers needing
grow,
AJ.
You know, live BPs and stuff like that.
I think
so
AJ would have been fine with
treated
whatever team he went to. You know what I mean? He's an exceptional head coach.
You know, before today, if we had a normal spring training, but you know, it's just gonna make you get ready a little bit faster.
I think he could have went to the White Sox and been just as, like, for example, you know, if the White Sox didn't make the weirdest decision of all time and go with LaRusso over him.
Here in the 4th inning. Brad, off last year.
No, the 7-inning doubleheaders are 100% gone. But the runner at second, they want to keep that just as kind of a precautionary rule for arm help. And that's kind of a request of the MLBPA, who does not like the runner at second rule. But they kind of see the necessity this season for a little while.
When I needed it, and so I took that into the offseason, worked hard on.
So they kind of were like, all right, we'll do that, whatever.
You know, I think it's
because again, it's not that thing. That isn't the worst rule. Because I kind of like that it sped things up a little bit, but like.
Kind of bounced a little bit. Anything new here in Philadelphia that you're feeling comfortable with, or something that you?
I'm not sure what they're gonna do with that rule. They haven't even agreed to it being like a rule yet. I don't really know what they're doing with it. They're still discussing a couple things. I'm pretty sure.
You know, I had him that, you know, he knows me. He knows, you know, stuff that works.
Roy Halladay's my favorite Philly.
Comfortable coming over here with, you know, him on the.
Yeah, baseball players don't have good personalities on TV interviews. I think it's like they have to be a certain way, because they're all way more exciting when they do like Twitch streams or when they like. Because a lot of baseball players like make content for some reason.
Great player as well. I mean, that month he had last year was.
I think it's just a good way to make some extra money, and a lot of these guys don't make any money till like that second contract.
Every ball he was hitting was going out of the park, so you know, it was fun to watch. We were almost expecting a home run every time.
They're not really allowed to show much personality right now. And I think they all do it on purpose too, and I'm not really sure what the joke is.
Played against him and such, but what do you think about the Phillies lineup at this stage of the game?
I know it's gonna be fun to watch.
Because Tigers players do this shit too. They're terrible in interviews, but the second that you see them, like they're hilarious otherwise.
We're gonna have some games where we're putting up maybe 30 runs, so it's gonna be fun to sit down.
Or they have like huge personalities.
You know, hit the ball all over the place.
You have Steve Carlton.
How does that feel as a bullpen guy to know that you have, you know,
a little bit past my
may
time.
not be coming into that game, you know, with just a 1-run lead or a 2-run lead.
Big old Brad Hand.
Maybe in a position to just come in there with a 3 or 4-run lead. How does that make you feel as a competitor?
That'll be good. That'll be strike one.
Definitely nice to have
Cameron's up with 2 away. Top of the 4th, 2-0 Phillies.
So fine with, you know, certain pitches, but you know, the job is to get 3 outs without any.
Who? Brad Hand said that they could put up 30 runs. That job doesn't change. I mean, is he wrong? Do you think the Phillies are a team that could score 30 runs in a game? If any team can do it, the Phillies are kind of fucking loaded on offense. By the way, thank you everyone very much for the 16 likes we're up to. I appreciate you very much. We're just 4 away from the light goal that we've hit. We try to hit 20 for all the live reaction streams and stuff like that. So thank you very kindly. 1-2 on Cameron. Dominguez is quickly making this Tigers lineup just kind of wilt over this happening.
So far.
Kind of effortless work.
To Daz Cameron.
And there goes Cameron. That was fucking nasty. I think he just struck out the side. He did. Sir Anthony Dominguez K's the side. Sheesh. Sands, Vierling, and Matan. Sands, Vierling, and Matan do up here in the bottom of the 4th. Bottom of the 4th, 2-0 Phillies. Commercial break. So the Tigers, yeah, Tigers will be it'll be nasty. Tigers probably have the best team in baseball this season, but it's you know, pretty young still, so it's a couple years away. But would I be surprised if the Tigers win it all this year? Nope. Maybe, okay, probably quite a bit, actually. I'd be stunned. I'd be like, oh, shit, I didn't see that coming. Not even in my craziest troll fantasies did I see I saw us maybe, you know, stealing a playoff series if we make it, and then kind of getting beat up in the division series. That's our most likely outcome. That's my craziest fantasy for this year is we steal again. We play the Yankees in the wild card and we beat them. Because that would just be kind of hilarious, and it's just like even when we got 2 new teams each, the tradition never end, you bitches. That's why I think I don't have like this hatred other people have for the Yankees, because my whole life the Tigers have just beat up on the Yankees. I'm like, wait, what are we afraid of? This is the Yankees. This is the big bad New York Yankees. What? They can't beat us. They fundamentally lose to us in the playoffs. I don't even know what's happening. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Deep rivalry, maybe? I don't know. Tigers are the only part of the team that remembers that there was a rivalry at one point. Could be that.
Phillies are hoping to get back to the World Series. The last one won in 2008. It's been a while since the Phillies have gone to the postseason. They hope that 2022 is the end of that drought. Donnie Sands breaks his back.
Sands grounds out on the first pitch, 1 away. Hutchinson with 1 out. Well, Hutchinson's still pitching. Veerling's up now with 1 away. 2-0 Phillies lead, bottom of the 4th.
Wow.
Yeah, man. America's nice. America's nice.
That's a nasty slider right there. Then he throws some heat right by.
That was 97 there.
Yeah. And then another nasty slider. And you know what I like.
Yeah, that was pretty sick by Dominguez. He K'd the side. That was gnarly.
You know, he throws a cutter. Always threw a pretty.
What's the count on Veerling? Is it 0-1?
Action to it, but those had some serious depth on those sliders right there.
Yeah. 0-1 now. Yeah, be outside ball 1. 1-1 count here.
I think a lot of people thought, all right, there's a chance he could be a closer at the highest level. And then Tommy John happens, and you wonder, well, can he get back to that level? Now, he was at 99, 100, and he could get, I mean, there's no reason to believe he's not going to get to that point again. But that was inviting what he was able to just do today.
Absolutely, and probably could be great for his confidence as well. I mean, for it's one thing to be rehabbing and throwing pens and throwing to hitters.
What do we got?
You know, in live BP.
1 and 2 count here.
Nature, but when you get into the real competition,
sunny July afternoon,
and with the way he threw the ball, he looked confident. He was efficient.
The game doesn't get really dark until.
That was really fun to see.
Oh no, you said noon. Yeah, that's pretty nice too.
For the Phils.
Down and inside, and he'll strike out.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Matt Veerling.
Hey, good pitch.
And he is down on strikes for the
strike him out.
Again, that's such an important piece of this club.
Love that the organization always had Wednesday day games for seniors and the blue-collar workers who work 3rd shifts. So with the new playoff rules, it will be 3 division winners with three next best records in each league, AL and NL. Yeah, yep. I think it's 7 teams in the playoffs, right? No, 3. You're right. It's 6.
Experience with guys like Familia, Hand, and
yeah, basically how I think that's the best way to do it.
Start dreaming a little bit.
On paper.
Some Detroit bars to drink.
Yeah, they got to do it on the field. As Mr.
Hell yeah,
Short,
Luke. Gotta love the American beers. Yeah, Paul, that's a nice thing. The Tigers are pretty worker conscious.
He wants to be called Schwarbs.
They play a lot of day games.
Kind of a funny moment in yesterday's press conference. Speaking of press conference, tomorrow will be the Nick Castellanos press conference, if all goes well. As Maton just serves it toward the vacant hole over at 3rd base. And he's 2 for 2.
Love it. Nice little piece of hitting. He smokes one to the right field line.
Yeah, I think the Tigers could sneak in as long as they have one of the 3 better records of the teams, of the wild card teams.
Against the shift.
A little bit of a layout of the landscape.
So it's either 5 or 6. I don't remember what number it is.
Mickey Moniak, Luke Williams, Maton. I mean,
because I think 6 doesn't give any chance for one team to have a bye.
Just watching all of those guys sort of interact.
So maybe 5 would make a little bit more sense.
It is, And listen, we don't know what kind of major leaguers they will be. You know, they've
Or
already
maybe
gotten a
even be
taste of
7.
it.
I don't know.
But to watch these guys, sort of their friendship and the way they joke
Make
with
it
each
2 versus
other,
7, 3 versus 6, and 4 versus 5.
It really truly does, because they gain a respect for
It
each
might be
other.
12.
It's a camaraderie. It's a
That seems
team.
weird, though. Is there no first round bye for the 1 seed?
People talk about, you know, clubhouse chemistry, and they think it's, you know, sometimes it's a falsehood.
The top 2 teams get a bye?
The reality of it is, if you guys love playing with each other, they're going to do a lot to try to win baseball games.
It might be top 2 teams get a week off.
Important element. That's why a guy like Schwarber becomes so important in the clubhouse, because of how special he can be.
Here's the 1-0 with 1 on first. Now it's 2-0. Missed in about the same spot twice here. It's 2-0 for Williams with a runner at first and 2 outs. 2-0 Philly leads here in the bottom of the 4th.
And all those guys have kind of cut their teeth, obviously, at the major league level. They're all kind of going through the same sort of thing. They've gotten a chance
Castellanos.
to
Yeah,
play
he has
baseball
quite the
at major league
ego.
level in Philadelphia, and have done it together, so they know exactly what it feels like.
Runner goes, pitches outside, throw to second, not in
1 game walk. Oh, a little late.
Maton swipes it back.
Throw looked like it might have gotten in there in time. What happened?
Tell you what, Tom, Maton can do some things. You know, he could play a variety of positions. You know, he was working.
Pitcher
at
get the
third
base. Yeah, it got stolen on the pitcher.
Gets a really nice jump right here.
Oh, no, they had him. The guy dropped the ball.
Really didn't have much of a chance.
I think he would have had him if the ball was held on to, though.
At second base. In fairly easily.
3-0. League wants more games, too.
3-1. Justin Williams out of the
That's why the league was adamant that they weren't going to give out ghost wins to teams.
Out of Yuma.
They wanted a bunch of the series to be best of 2, so that way they only play a couple games.
And he hits that one back toward the middle, and it's off the glove of a diving scope and into shallow center field. Maton will score. Williams is aboard. It's an RBI single, and it's
awful middle of the
Phillies.
field defense again.
Yeah, perfect example of how important a stolen base can be. I mean, I know it's been something that many of the folks in analytics have kind of shied away from in
I hope they get that figured out up the middle.
But really, it is an important part of the game. He gets himself in a scoring position, and Williams.
Oh, it was the second baseman that fucked up.
That
That was going to be a base hit. It's a best of 3 series, but you start off the series with the win if you're the higher seed. That way, it's potentially a 1-game series or a 2-game series.
Williams might think about stealing a bag here.
I would think he would. He's pretty long to the plate. Hutchinson's up to like 1.
Yeah, you just start the series because you're the higher seed. You start the series with 1 to get through the wild card rounds and the bullshit rounds. That's what the players wanted, but the owners were like, "Yeah, we're probably not going to do that one. We'd rather just do the 3 games or the 2 games." Basically, it was the players' attempt to get it to a best of 2 instead of a best of 3.
That one gets by.
And they throw it away.
Will get to second base.
Man, this Hutchinson guy has been nothing but a nightmare since he took them out. He's had probably the worst afternoon I've seen in a minute. Things are not going his way right now.
Watch the young guys who have gotten a chance to be in camp prior, how they handle it the second time. You know, the first time in camp, I mean, you're bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and, you know, there's a lot of nerves associated with that. But you see some of these kids.
Zadarius Smith officially signed with the Vikings, by the way.
Very comfortable. A kid like Muggiotti looks very comfortable. It's neat to watch these guys step to the plate and go about their business in a little bit more calm manner, allowing their abilities to take over. And it really does mean something. Experience does mean something at the major league level, whether it's spring training or what have you. And it's nice to see these guys starting to mature.
Yeah, the dirt 1-2.
All right, 1-2 count here, bottom of the 4th. 2 runner at second, 2 out. What's up, Hayden? Yeah, okay. I was gonna say. I guess it was
an error on Hutchinson. Fouled back.
Well, it must have been an air ball, I guess, huh?
Must have been an air ball.
Well, they changed another play.
Has it been switched back to an E1? It's been switched back to an E1, Ruben. E1.
Spring training for everybody, Tom.
Yeah, it's not been a good day. The Tigers haven't worn their consistent hitting shoes, and their defense this inning's been pretty bad.
Swing and a miss at a high fastball.
All right, Tigers will get out of the inning. Only give up a run.
Strikeouts for Hutchinson through 2 innings. The Phillies, though.
It'll be Hill, Green, and Barnhart. Hill, Green, and Barnhart. So 9, 1, and 2 due up for the Tigers. Hill, Green, and Barnhart. Let's see if they can do any kind of damage and maybe get some runs across the board here now. Come on, look at something real quick. Anyway, commercial break. We'll unmute it as soon as it pops back on. We'll be in the top of the 5th. Yeah, Baez is playing today. Yep. He bats, what is he batting today? He bats 3rd, so he could bat this inning. He bats 4th this inning if somebody gets on. Because it'll be Hill, Green, Barnhart, then Baez. Baez is 1 for 3. One of the lone hits, one of the 3 hits today for the Tigers. Hey, we're up to 17 likes, just a few likes away from the like goal, so I appreciate that. All right, looks like the game's back on, so very kind, very kind. Thank you for the likes so far.
Oakland Athletics, Friday, April 8th at 3:05. All fans in attendance will receive a fleece headbands.
Dang.
Visit Phillies.com to purchase your tickets today.
Probably first base or right field.
You don't need a fleece headband on a day like this, unless you want to
or
keep
first
your hair
base or corner outfielders probably hit the most.
You want to keep your hair in place.
Yeah, a little breezy.
Big left-hander
DH too, I guess, but that's kind of obvious.
Bryce Harper's day is done. Jared Carr comes on to play.
Usually those are the power spots: right field, first base, left field, sometimes third base.
The minor league complex.
Yeah, Phillies have a couple of minor leaguers that are going to be in today's game.
Generally, right? Like you can sometimes it could be shortstop or it's usually not second base. Catcher's pretty rare. Center field's pretty rare.
Former Philly Bandit.
Exactly, Paul. Yeah, wins and losses are pretty irrelevant this time of year. That was an ugly at bat. That was fast. 1 away.
How it happens. I think the ball will find you every single time.
Well, if anybody's using
now up is Riley Green with 1 away on 1 pitch. I'm going to go grab another soda real quick.
Yeah, not an easy sunball. He worked around it pretty well. He did a good job.
Really isn't. There are a couple of fly balls yesterday in Tampa.
Yeah.
The Phillies had some trouble with.
Yeah.
And it was a tough sky. I mean, it was. Whew. Riley Green is 0 for 2. Good test for Riley Green to face a left-hander. One ball, one strike.
Phillies pitching depth is going to be important. Guys like Damon Jones and Bailey Falter and.
Does your coach want to get? Well, I mean, just playing a different position won't increase your home runs.
These guys are going to play.
So I don't know why he'd say that. What?
You got to have some options. And a lot of these guys are
kind of irrelevant. Power doesn't really come from playing defense, so.
Can rely on, when they have breakdowns or if they have, situations where they need some innings. Really good time for them to start impressing right here in spring training.
Yeah, David Jones is a big kid. He's 6'5".
Yeah, if we move them from shortstop to first, he'll hit 10 more home runs a year, automatic. That's not how it works.
Strikeouts in 41 in the third. He pitched in just
Top of the fifth, 1-0, 2-2 count. I don't think anyway. Maybe it does. I don't know. Maybe placebo effect.
2-2 pitch in the dirt.
Yeah, that'll be ball 3.
That's really been his bugaboo, is being able to throw consistent strikes. I mean, 36 walks and 57 strikeouts. That's not a great ratio when you have almost a walk an inning.
Unless you want to move you from like center field to first and make you like bulk up like a significant amount, then that's a little different. Yeah, he struck out. Riley chased a pitch a bit out of the zone there. Not exactly the best at bat. Again, that doesn't really change your power, right? Unless he's telling you to like lift weights and get way bigger.
To take it, but
yeah, maybe it'll make you hit more home runs. I don't know. Barnhart's up with 2 away in the top of the 5th. 3-0 Phillies lead. Yeah, I get it.
Breaking ball and it's 0-1.
I mean, I played first before, and I'm not that tall.
I mean,
I'm like 5'11", 5'10".
Feel real relaxed knowing that the hitter likely will not be swinging this first pitch breaking ball, but they get later on in the count and they try to throw a better one, and then they try to throw a better.
I don't know though. I'm built different. I played every position before.
It's really about the feel and making sure that you try not to change any of your mechanics and just throw it the same way. Now there's certain situations.
The only position I can't really play that well is shortstop and second base. For some reason, I don't think I'm like quick enough to play short.
But when pitchers get themselves in trouble, they try to do a little bit too much. You know what? I'm going to try to.
Nor second. I just don't have that kind of like quickness to like get to a ball on the ground.
All of a sudden, you're back into a 2-2 or 3-2 count.
Unironically, probably my best position was third base. Because it was one of them positions where it was just all instinct and mechanics. And I have very good mechanics and instincts in baseball. If I don't think about it, I'm very good at defense, which as long as I don't do. And with third base, there isn't enough time to think about it, so it was the easiest position for me to just be like, all right, here we go, and just do the thing. I made a lot of very good plays at third base, kind of mindlessly. Stott, Bohm, and Carr do. All right, so the Phillies are in the replace the starters thing. Stott, Bohm, and Carr do up here in the bottom of the 5th. Phillies lead 3-0 here. It's a commercial break, so I'm muting the audio. Well, then do that. I don't know. And do what you got to do. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not really sure why you're telling me this. Is it just general conversation? By the way, you have kind of a bad coach. I'm not going to lie to you. He's telling you to hit more home runs. It's like, well, yeah, I'm not trying to be mean or anything like that, but your coach kind of sounds like a bad coach. I never in my life have once heard a coach be like, we need more home runs. It's like, well, what? Why not just score more runs? Nah. We're a long ball team. So I should be swinging for the fences? Yeah, I need to see more uppercuts. I need to see more bat flips. Coach, I singled. He's throwing up on the side. He literally throws up. Shits himself, starts crying. You singled? Just all at one time. Calls his wife and he's like, I'm literally shaking.
Quite a selection out there, yeah.
This fucking 100-pound freshman hit a single. I don't know what to do. But Stott, Bowman, Carr do up for the Phillies. Bottom of the fifth, 3-0 Phillies. Bottom of the fifth, 3-0 Phillies.
There's a lot available at Frenchie's out in left field.
I don't know. I guess I just don't think you should be like telling people to swing for home runs and play for home runs. Yeah, it sounds like he should get fired.
This one here today.
Telling people to try to hit home runs is pretty weird. Just hit the ball. Power will come naturally from a good swing and a good approach to the game.
Which we decided.
Like work out, get stronger. Of course, that'll help. Having a good swing will help. Swinging at the right pitch at the right time is more vital than anything.
Really? Yeah. And he's a fashion.
Seeing a hanging breaking ball, knowing when to swing at that, like that'll literally give you more home runs than you've ever known what to do. Especially in the high school level, like so many kids just throw hanging breaking balls that you could probably hit a mile if you weren't so like. It's the fear of seeing a fucking 65-mile-an-hour curveball come at you and not knowing it's gonna hang. Like it's like one of those things. Like those are the pitches major leaguers go, oh, that's gone.
Foley made his major league debut in 2021 out of Sacred Heart University.
But oftentimes, when that fucking 65-mile-an-hour curveball's whipping right at you, you're like, oh fuck.
Last year for the Tigers. You can see 10 1/3, 6 strikeouts.
Pretty sure all of my career home runs came on hanging breaking balls because I recognized I'm like, wait, that's gonna end up right over the middle of the plate. So I just would sit back and wait and crush.
Side 2-2.
I couldn't barely hit a fastball. I have fucking bad eyes.
Take some ground balls over at third base too.
If I seen a ball of the sun go way outside the zone, I'm like, oh wait a minute, here we go. These are the hittable pitches.
I haven't spoken to Joe yet about whether he's going to get reps over there. I think they really want to give him as many reps over at shortstop and try to push Didi as much as possible.
I sucked at hitting though, so take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt. 2-2 count here for Stott.
It's going to be an open battle.
I think Didi's look pretty good.
Yeah, no, he does. He does look good.
3-2 to Stott.
Yeah, why are you glad you're not a Yankees fan?
I think the big thing for Didi is that he is healthy.
And it was interesting to watch Bobby Dickerson 2 days ago work with him in the.
I'm sure most Yankees fans are very glad they're not Rangers fans too. So I'm sure the feeling is quite mutual.
About working underneath the baseball, catching the bottom of the ball, as we talked about earlier, and
in the cross. Oh, because the cheating thing? Yeah, I guess so.
After a while,
if you care about cheating, I guess.
Where you're maybe a little too tall, your mechanics aren't where they need
to me, that's like a non-thing. Like it's like a non-problem.
Where Bobby Dickerson becomes a very important.
But I didn't, I also didn't spend 2 years crusading against the poor Astros for no reason about cheating.
Ball 4. Bryson Stott works out a walk, his second one of the day.
Anyway, that'll be a walk here with no outs in the first. Leadoff walk from Foley. By the way, we're at 19 likes. I appreciate the likes so far. We're just one away from the goal. I appreciate you. You're all too kind.
Bryson Stott's got that swagger, like he really believes that he's going to hit. Hitters can hit.
I don't really have any goals on YouTube.
When he gets into the box, I mean, he's got a little bit of a confidence and swagger that that's pretty impressive. He looks very relaxed and
it'd be cool.
Very under control at the plate.
It's a good compliment.
But if I can get to like 50,000 subs and about 10,000 views on each video, I can make a living off this shit.
Ground ball over to first. Torkelson turns and fires the second for one.
Oh shit!
With his feet at the second base.
Wow, Baez made that. Wow, I don't know how they made that play. Good double play there.
3-6-3 of the double play. There are 2 outs here in the 5th inning.
Yeah, there's not too many people who are as acrobatic as Javi Baez, and I know
to hit 100 or to hit a mill on YouTube. That's not a bad goal.
Didn't quite get to the bag and actually got tripped up a little.
Yeah, if I can get to about something like that and I can make a decent living doing this, that'd be awesome.
It was legal to do that. He was right there on the bag, and And Javi
I can be
Baez still
self-employed
gets
just
the-
doing
gets
this
the ball off in terms
as
of
a
double
job.
play.
But, you know,
That'll bring Jared Carr
we'll
to the
see.
plate. Phillies,
Closing in
13th round
on
selection a couple years ago
7,300.
out of
There's 7,200 at some point.
Shepherd
Almost
University,
7,150. Getting
where
up
he said
there.
he played in a small school and used it as a chip on his shoulder.
Good for him.
There's Alec Boehm.
I like it.
Takes low, 2 balls and no strikes.
Well, he had 101 at bats.
If only I had utilized Tic Tac when it first came out, I could have grew my YouTube platform tremendously off the backs of the Tic Tacker movement.
Off the end of the
But I
bat,
just
flared out
decided to
towards
make
short,
jokes
and
about
it's
Tic
ball.
Tac, and it didn't,
Castro
you know.
to the side.
Despite knowing about it 2 years before it became very, very big when it was musically, I was like, huh,
We're headed to the
that
6th
seems like
inning.
something I should keep my eye on. That's probably going to be huge. And then just doing nothing about it. I made a lot of very weird decisions that just backfired. Baez, Scope, and Grossman. At least, I could have probably gotten a nice boost of about 10,000 people from something like that. You only have a phone to record, you're going to get a camera. There you go. I mean, that works. I just use a webcam and make videos with OBS. It's all pretty simple. But, I kind of focus my channel to feel more like it's like a live thing even when I do recorded videos. So I guess it's a different approach. There's plenty of different ways. There's way more effective ways than the way I do it. I would watch people who know what they're doing to make channels grow. I have a brick-by-brick approach. That's I just, slowly. It's a commercial break right now. That's why it's muted, by the way. It's top of the 6th coming up. It'll be, looks like Candelario, Baez, Scope, and Grossman. Baez, Scope, and Grossman, top 6, 3-0 Phillies. Yeah, I can't help you with that either. I don't know. I don't edit. I'm sure there's classes you can take in high school for learning how to video edit. And then you learn all the basics in that bitch. And then you're good to go. Because you probably only need a basic understanding of editing to make effective YouTube videos. And then you'll just learn as you go along. But it's probably good to have a good base understanding. And oftentimes, high school classes are good at teaching that. I know how to do certain things with video editing because of multimedia classes, but all this stuff I learned back in the early 2000s don't even exist anymore.
Register now at Phillies.com.
I learned how to edit videos on Windows Media Movie Maker or Windows Movie Maker. It's horse shit.
Some hot dogs into the crowd. There's the changes for the Phillies. Camargo's at shortstop. Munoz is over third. Those are the only changes on the infield. The new pitcher is Jersey's own Joe Gatto out of St. Augustine down in South Jersey.
I had to make animations with PowerPoint and then put those. It is the weirdest fucking thing.
With the Texas Rangers
you had to make these square animate these drawings with that stupid.
Anaheim, a second rounder in 2014.
Do it on YouTube. He tells people how to game and help people. There you go.
Javi Baez.
Should work.
Got a first pitch in there. It's 0-1.
Use plenty of sources, and yeah, you'll be all right.
95 miles an hour for Gatto.
Yeah, big body, maximum effort kind of a guy, high front side, and a guy that probably just hasn't gotten to the point where his command of his stuff is there yet.
Good foul, and it's 0-2.
I think the Phillies signed him as a 6-year free agent.
The one thing you shouldn't expect if it doesn't happen is the auto success. That's pretty rare to see somebody hit the automatic just rocket ship of success. A lot of people have to downright grind for several years before anything really starts happening.
The balls at 2 strikes. Over to third base, picked by Munoz. He's been working on that a lot recently, and he fires across the diamond.
Good play at third. Annoying though. 1 away in the 6th inning. It'll be Scope up now with 1 out in the 6th.
Bobby and a bunch of the other coaches been working on the half field, the adjacent half.
No, unless you come out with some crazy like content, you know, that's just pretty like evoking and evocative. Gets people talking about it and spreads really easily. That could happen. Again, pretty rare, especially for like first, you know, new channels.
Maybe the best hands in camp. I mean,
a lot of content out there.
Yeah.
There's Scope, and he takes a curve inside, 1-0.
Well, they're a very versatile player. You know, he's played short, he's played the outfield, he's done a lot of different things, and he's got a chance to make this club as a utility guy.
Two balls and no strikes. Scope is 0 for 1.
2-0 for Scope, 1-0 count.
Line drive out toward left field.
That's gone.
Turns and it is gone.
Hey, it's 3-1. Jonathan Scope with the laser shot home run to make it a 2-run game. 3-1 after the homer by Jonathan Scope. 1 away still in the top of the sixth. Now up is Dustin Garneau, who's apparently entering the game.
Playing mostly first base. He'll be back at second base this year with Spencer Torkelson moving to first base and making the club probably. And this guy's always been a very dangerous hitter, especially on the fastball. And he gets a fastball right here, and he does not miss it. Nice short stroke. Didn't try to lift it, didn't try to do too much, just kind of dropped the head on it, and it was a line drive bullet out of the ballpark.
All right. Tigers into the game officially with some runs now. Garneau's up.
Puts the Tigers on the board, and here is Dustin Garneau.
Looks like Barnhart's done catching.
For Robbie Grossman.
What up, Jacob? How's it going?
Well, if you're A.J. Hinch, the Tigers manager, you're hoping that Scope can give 22 home runs playing second base this year.
Yeah.
That'll be strike 2. What's up, Daniel?
I'll tell you what, that is like that's a dark horse in that division.
I've got 19 likes. I appreciate that, everybody. We're doing pretty good on the likes. Just a few away from the overall like goal.
I'll tell you why. I just think that
we like to hit.
You know, there's some of their young pitchers in their rotation, the Casey Mizes of the world, Scooble. I think Manning's going to be in the rotation. I think they've got a chance to stay in every single game if that rotation stays healthy. They added Eduardo Rodriguez, the top of that rotation.
Ooh.
I think they're going to have some issues with their bullpen, although they've
these Phillies announcers are very dull.
Some success in the back end. They moved Fulmer.
It'll be inside. It'll be 2-2.
Being a starter,
he was a good reliever last year.
Pitched very, very well as a setup guy last year, and I mean, you just never know. It's not a real.
Why couldn't you sleep last night? You just woke up, Daniel. Well, I guess it's like 11 o'clock out by you.
Did a really nice job over there in Houston.
So yeah, it's a little different.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Broke his bat. Look out.
Ooh.
Head of the bat goes into the netting over the third base dugout.
Oof. There'll be 2 away, though.
Makes the catch at shortstop.
Oh, you're back in the schools? That sucks.
2 outs. And thank goodness for that netting.
Oof.
Just couldn't sleep. That sucks. Got up at 7. Ugh. That usually means 8 a.m.s. That's about a bitch.
Torkelson fouls the first pitch back behind home plate.
0-1. 2 outs here in the top of the 6th.
Number 1 overall pick. He joins the likes of Rick Monday, Bob Horner, former Arizona State players who were number 1 overall picks.
Right.
Up and in, 2-0, or 1-1, excuse me. Floyd Bannister was the other one, the hard-throwing Floyd Bannister. Yeah.
It'll be a ball. 2-1.
played against a pretty good Arizona State player in Barry Bonds when I was there.
Yeah, you know, you think about it now.
No, was he the first pick? He wasn't the first pick?
I don't think he was. Maybe if they redid it, he might have been.
They might consider it.
6th pick overall by the Pirates.
I watched him hit 3 home runs in one game against the old Stanford Cardinal. 1 to center, 1 to left, and 1 to right.
Really? 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Alrighty, just waiting to see. It's a 2-2 count here.
The ball used to fly over there in Sun Devil Stadium, but boy, he hit them. When he hit him, he hit him.
Ground ball over to third. Munoz backs up on it across the diamond in time.
Torkelson's out. Not a great day for Torque today, but that is what it is. Sometimes you'll have those at this level. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th. Bottom of the 6th coming up. It'll be Hall, Sands, and Verling. Hall, Sands, and Verling due up here in the bottom of the 6th. 3-1 Phils. Whew. Kind of a dull game. Are the Lions going to draft Malik Willis? That wouldn't be good. Bulls Bucks should be good matchup tonight. Oh, are they both good teams? I don't really know. Yeah, go Tigers, yeah. I think I'm going to watch through the 7th inning. But I don't know if I'm going to finish today's game. I really don't. I'm kind of getting bored watching this game, and I do have other things I got to take care of this afternoon, so we'll see. Maybe if the game picks up, but it's kind of like kind of dull so far. And we're about to see all the random players take in.
Folks are enjoying the sunshine. A little breezier today than.
But like I said, we'll go through 7.
Been on the road up at Tampa
the 8th and the 9th you can watch probably on your own.
Down near Venice 2 days ago. Joe Girardi joins us here at the bottom of the 6th inning. And, Joe, we were telling a story about Barry Bonds, and he was the 6th overall pick by the Pirates in '85. And
but yeah, Hall, Sands, and Verling do up. Verling.
Barry Larkin, and Kurt Brown, who did not sign.
Hey, Bobby Witt.
The Chicago White Sox was picked.
Wonder if he's got a kid.
The 5th overall pick.
Do you guys think Bobby Witt has any kids playing in the MLB?
Good careers. You know, and I think it's always hard to predict what type of career a player is.
Oh, look at Rob. He doesn't know baseball. He doesn't know prospects. He made a joke about not knowing who a player was. He's just like Urban Meyer.
It's pretty good players taken in front of him. And we were talking about this before the inning started, and I said, well, Michael Jordan wouldn't take it #1 either.
It's very true. It's hard sometimes, man. It's a crapshoot.
It can be a crapshoot.
So 1-0 for the
to lead things off for the Phillies.
For Hall.
All right, so there's a couple.
For some reason, this is an update
today, but I think the big place is Sir Anthony Dominguez today was excellent.
Yeah,
whatever.
When Ruben asked
I guess it doesn't have to. It's doing its best.
I said, ooh, and he kind of said, ooh, as well. I mean, that was really good.
2-0 for Hall.
97 with a good slider, some movement on his fastball. That's a
fouls it away,
much
2-1
guy than what we saw at the end of the year last year. And we called him up, you know, because he had worked so hard.
There we go. Now it's working.
And everything he had done, and we just wanted to see him, you know, pitch back in the big leagues. But it's much different this year. And so
Barnes
far,
is pitching for the Tigers.
Yeah, big time. You know what stands out, Joe? I mean,
2-2.
We saw Sir Anthony before the Tommy John surgery, and I know you saw him from a distance too. He looks in great shape. I mean, he's trim. I mean, he's healthy. And I think that's really the thing that stood out today.
Yeah, to me, it was, you know, the stuff, but he is in fantastic shape. I mean, he's worked really hard. I mean, when you think about it, he really hasn't pitched since June of 19. I mean, that's really the last time he's pitched in the big leagues. And, oh.
Nice swing by Derek Hall.
Right there.
That's another ooh, right?
Yeah.
That's a nice hit. Leadoff single there for
all
Hall.
the hard work that our training staff did with him, all the hard work that Sir Anthony, you know, Joe, our trainer, spent months and months and months with him. And to see this product that we saw today, you see it's all worth it.
Yeah, Joe Roush is who Joe's talking about, who really did do a very good job.
Yeah, Joe, I was kind of wondering what your early thoughts on Familia and Hand were.
Pretty good. You know, the first time out, you know, Familia gets that slow roller, you know, it's a tough play, and then we don't make a play behind him. But, you know, I thought he threw the ball well.
Best Tigers jersey ever? I don't know.
And you know who really looked good? Damon Jones.
Yeah.
They all look the same, man.
Yeah,
It's,
I mean,
what do you mean? They're all kind of just.
Tigers.
They say Detroit,
struck out two, maybe even struck out
and
three
they have a
in
D
that
across.
game.
I don't know. It's like
Damon
there's not
was
much
really good
variation.
as
You know
well.
what I
So
mean?
it's really good to see our guys, you know, starting to pick it up a little bit.
Yeah, we talk a little bit about Bailey Falter as well. I mean,
Yeah.
he threw the, you know what? One of the things I talked about is he didn't throw a ton of breaking balls during the course of his first time in the big leagues. He was relying on that good fastball. What do you think about his breaking ball?
It was better today. I saw a better curveball today. Threw it for a couple strikes, and you know, it's interesting. Sometimes you don't understand how a guy that throws 90, 91 throws a ball.
Yeah, it's
But
kind of
that's
hard
exceptional,
to
right?
make. You know what I
And he
mean? When
has
they
a
all pretty
really
much
long
look very
stride.
similar.
He has a stride of like a guy that's 6'11", and it gets on hitters, and they don't expect it. So he threw the ball
I like the
well.
home whites,
we've
I
seen a lot
guess.
of good pitching, and
With
it's
the
good to
old
see,
English,
you know,
with the old English D on it,
Mayton,
that
you know, he
seems
makes
to be
that great
the
play, and then he leads off with a double.
the
and
nice ones.
Luciani, another young player drives him in, and then Harp finally figured it out. I'm not going to try to hit it through the second baseman. Which
Yeah, they're just one of those teams that there just hasn't been much change to them. You know, it's like, well,
I mean, the one he hit here,
the one that they
yeah,
first
the
made.
first game that we played at home. I mean, I was surprised the guy caught it.
But I mean, they have a very
But,
classic uniform. There's no reason to change any of it.
Even the one yesterday in Tampa was
Yes,
the same one.
yeah.
Same one.
3-1.
So talk about how important some of these young players
3 and
are
2
to
good
the club.
pitch.
I mean, everybody talks about the front
Full
line.
count here with the runner at first. Nobody out in the bottom of the
Pressure,
sixth of a
but you
3-1
have to
Phillies
have that kind of
lead.
depth in AAA when you need it.
I think it's so important. I always call, you know, the young kids that are prospects and players that are they're like the lifeline of your system. Because something's going to happen where you're going to need them, and you need them to perform, not just come up and be a body. You need them to come up and perform, and you need to keep filtering young players through your system and to the big leagues, so you can go out and sign free agents and they complete your team. But some of the
And the guy strikes out. Good pitching sequence there for Barnes to, you know, not let himself walk a guy, and one away.
And you're seeing a better quality of play.
Donnie Sands down on strikes. Well, Matt Vierling is heading to the plate right now, and I know you talked today about Odubel Herrera and his side issue that he's going to get some imaging. So center field was probably open anyway, but
Yes.
probably wider now.
Yeah, I would say that, and obviously Veer has a chance to take it and run with it, and I think Hazley's playing center field tomorrow.
Here's a pitch,
someone
and it'll
who's
be
done it
0-1.
before. He has looked better in camp, so I mean he's.
Yeah, they usually play well. They're usually pretty high-scoring series.
Right.
Or it's usually a high-scoring series when the two teams get together, rather, I should say.
Competition brings out the best in everyone, and what it allows you to do is you know, guys have to play at a higher level, and you know, when you have options, if that guy's struggling a little bit, you can make a change. And I always tell players, you know, what we start with April 8th is not necessarily what we're going to be at May 1st, June 1st, and so on. So
Here's a 1-1, 1 out, 1 on, bottom of the
every day,
sixth.
and your opportunities will come if you're playing at a high level.
And Joe, that has been the case through baseball.
As I said, we'll watch through
last
7,
years.
but
It's
after
been
that,
even
I'm
more
probably
the
going
case,
to check
isn't it?
out because it's only going to get
there's
worse
been
probably
so
for the
many
Tigers.
injuries. I mean, you can
And I
never
got
have
shit I got to go
enough
do.
anymore. You just
And I don't want
can't,
to
right?
like take up all night.
And now, you know,
Or the
figure
rest
you
of
have
the
12
afternoon. I kind of want to
games,
just get
and then
this
you
done
have
and
a
out of the way. I
full
should have
year.
did it a while
Guys
ago,
didn't throw
but
as many
you know,
innings after COVID year, so you
I've
worry
been
about the
able to
increase in
formulate
the
a better
workload,
version
so
of what I
on.
have to do.
So now you're
in
worried
my
about
head.
this year. I mean, I hope next spring when we come in, we're beyond all this, right?
Like I've even
And
changed
it's
the paper
just
as I've been writing it in my head, sitting here. Like I've shortened it a little by quite a bit.
He's a kid that I've been impressed by how he just kind of handles himself.
Yeah, I mean, you look at his 3 at-bats. They lined out, to center field with the lefty. He walked twice, and he also takes charge of an infield for a young player. That's not.
Yeah,
always
it's basically
the case,
one of those things where now it's the longest part left is writing it. Like it's just literally typing the words that are in my head. So
spring training,
it's going to be like
really
2 hours.
last year in spring
But I just got to do it, get it out of the way.
But then since then, he's played fantastic all year last year, the fall league. So he's really picked it up.
Is there any, I saw him taking some balls at third base. I know that he's competing with Didi for that spot, shortstop. Any thought at all that at some point you may move him around the infield at all?
I mean, you always think of that. That's not why he took him at third. Bobby just said, well, there's one third baseman we're working with. Why don't you just stand over?
Okay, gotcha.
Right. You know, I'm not trying. I don't want people to make too much, but you know, it's possible.
Yeah.
And Bobby said, you know, he looked pretty good over there. So you found out something, not necessarily intentionally, but we found out, you know, he was pretty comfortable over there.
Yeah. Joe, I know as we're only a week into spring training. Any thought on how you feel health-wise Eflin and Zach Wheeler are right now?
I feel pretty good about where they're both at now. Are they a little behind? Yeah. But I'm sure there's a lot of people in camps that are a little bit behind, and we're all going to have to deal with that. And you know, after about 2 weeks in the year, I think everyone will be pretty close to caught up. But we're just going to have to deal with it in the beginning.
Yeah, and Major League Baseball talked to you at all about the possibility of expanding your rosters early, or is that still something that's up in the air?
Well, there's been talk. There's no resolution yet, but obviously there.
Holy shit!
That's right. Come on, Derek. Come on, Derek. Oh, the big man lumbering. Yeah, I like it. Now that's a double. That's called a spring training double,
Sure
right?
is.
It sure is.
Yeah, I don't want to see him put an air up there.
Plus, it gives him 3 for 3 today.
That's right. He's. You know, we have this little thing that we do at the end of BP where we load the bases and there's 1 out. So if you hit a ball in the cage, you go back to 0. If you hit a foul ball, it's -1, and if you hit a ball on the ground through the infield, it's -1. And I've been joking with him, right, that I've never seen him win all the times we play. And you got to understand, Mate's funny, right? He's always talking. And he won today. So I gave him the ball. I put his first win.
Good for him.
This was a Derek Jeter game, and Derek Jeter named it. You know, you'd ask him what's the name of the game, and Derek would say, "I win." Right? That's the name of the game. Right?
Because he liked to win.
Yeah. You know, so when he would say that's the name of the game, I win. So we had a little fun with Mate today that he won the game. And I said it's the first time I've seen him win it in like 162 tries.
And just to describe it, we were out there. He handled it as if he won a significant.
It's like he was wearing the belt.
Yes, it was a significant belt. Yes.
Like he had just won the World Series.
That's exactly right.
I do enjoy stories like this. This is more what the interview should be, not weird, boring talk about rosters.
I mean, the idea is you're competing, and you got to be selective, right? Because you hit
anyway,
a ground ball. That's not what we want.
2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. 4-1 after a bad attempt to catch a ball in the outfield by the Tigers.
Get your pitch, and it was not favoring left-handed.
4-1 Phillies with the runner at second and 2 away. Bottom of the 6th inning should probably be over, but again, you know, it is what it is. 2-1.
Yeah, and these flags have been moving like this since about 6 o'clock this morning. But they have not stopped moving.
No, so it was fun to watch.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Joe, I don't want to put you on the spot here, but you're good when people put you on the spot. You have a thought on Schwarber when he might be in the lineup?
Yeah, we're looking at tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think there's a really good possibility you'll see him in there tomorrow.
Yeah, got
2-2 is the count. Let's see the pitch and run it full.
Seriously, he's got it together. Just as an individual, he's got it together.
Yeah, he does. And you know what? He's got that football mentality, that linebacker mentality. And, you know, we might have to guard against that a little bit where he tries to play through everything. But he is fun to be around. He plays hard. He's dangerous. So he's, you know, our plan is to put him in there tomorrow.
Hey, how about that press conference? You ever seen as good a press conference?
Yeah. It was really good. You could tell that he's fired up, and he's had some kind of week, right? You think about the birth of his son and you know, his wife Paige and the contract, and he's a happy guy, man.
Well, here is Simone Muzziotti, one of the youngsters that Joe was talking about before, who so far is 1 for 2. He scored a run and drove in a run his first time up and struck out back in the 4th inning. He's got 2 runners on and a run in here in the bottom of the 6th inning with the Phillies on top, 4-1.
Now, he is the
0-1, swing and a
individual-
miss.
It's a group of 4 that lost to Maton today.
Was he upset?
Yeah, and I'm not really sure that Maton won. He says he did. I'm not sure.
He was very confident about it.
Like the first baseman caught the line drive, and if it doesn't get through the infield, even if it's smoked and it hits a blade of the dirt, it's -1. But he said that it would have got to the outfield. So if that's the case, it would have been 3. But we gave it to him because we probably fudged a little bit so Maton or Muzziotti could catch up, just to irritate Maton. But he ran with it, and it was a lot of fun.
Go Phillies. Good luck. You guys are definitely winning today, it looks like. The Tigers haven't really shown much of life. 1-2 now, though.
His adult body, and it's noticeable, I think, this year.
Yes, I would have to agree with you. And the other thing that I've noticed, because, last spring he wasn't here, visa issues.
Oh,
he had
that's right.
That's right. I mean, he didn't get here until July or something, right? Some of his swings look like Carlos Beltran.
Right. Interesting.
Right. We'll see some swings now, and in my mind we'll just say, oh, that was a Carlos swing. Like the double he hit in Lakeland, it reminded me so much of one of Carlos's swings.
Yeah, that'll be ball 2 inside. Could be ball 3. I'm not really sure. They have the TV counters have been pretty bad.
He had a smile on his face, like Carlos was good, right? So I hope the comp works.
Speaking of visa, Ranger got to camp a lot earlier than I think everybody anticipated. What's your thoughts on him and when you might get him out there?
He's doing very well. We're happy with where
ball
he's
3,
I'm not
full
sure
count.
The exact date.
Okay.
To try to follow Caleb's small writing is really difficult for me. And I get on him and I tell him, I can't wait till you.
I think they are.
Because this ain't going to last forever.
Amen to that.
Right? So I would say his next thing would probably be a live BP. But he looks great.
Yeah. We used to make fun of Chris Wheeler when he had reading glasses when we were in our
easy 85-90 win team this year.
I'm never going to make fun of anybody anymore.
That's right. That's right. Because it all catches up.
Yeah, it certainly does.
I remember I used to make fun of my friend who was lactose intolerant. Guess who's lactose intolerant now?
So I think they're much better than
we're showing
barely
a shot
10
of
wins
Chris
better
Wheeler
than
right
what
now
they
as he
were
does
last
PA
year.
here in Baycare Ballpark. The Tigers are going to make a pitching change with the Phillies on top 4-1.
Damn, Daniel.
A couple pretty good at bats by those youngsters.
Are they really doing a pitching change? Son of a bitch, dude. That's just going to extend this out.
I mean, that's what you want. You want to grind out these at-bats. And I think in spring training, a lot of hitters like to see as many
Man, this guy
pitches as
can't pitch at
possible.
all.
And the mature hitter
That
doesn't
sucks.
really care so much about the result as the process.
I don't care about the bases loaded. I just hate when they change pitchers. It's like, oh, God, dude.
And as soon as I could,
This is going to go on for fucking
I give a lot
ever.
of credit because they're seeing a lot of pitches.
Yep.
Joe, week in to spring training, 2 weeks into spring training, what are you happiest about? Is there one thing that stands out?
I just think how hard the guys are working and how they understand we have a real opportunity this year, and there's a lot of excitement about the club we put together. I was impressed with how they came into camp, and I'm really impressed how they've worked through camp and all the extra work that we do, because it's condensed, and they understand they have to go a little bit quicker, and we're trying to
Brendan White is pitching now. Brendan White pitching for the Tigers. Bases loaded and 2 outs in the bottom of the
Players
6th.
that played yesterday, JT, Reese, people like that, there's other stuff that they have to do in order to prepare for.
That's fine. Yeah, Cole, I understand. You may not know much about him. That's fair.
Yes, and yes, JT is going to do his framing and his blocking. And if you watched the game yesterday, if anyone saw it, I mean, he was fantastic. He was like 7 for 7 in blocks in the first inning, right? So, but they're going to continue to work on it. They're going to work on their swing. I mean, JT's working hard on his swing, and the infielders, I mean, it was like game on the half field today with those guys. And Bobby was hitting them, fungos, but it was like live fungos where the ball's flipped to the fungo hitter, and it's a more realistic. And these guys were game on, and that's what you want to see.
Yeah, and I see Paco Figueroa working really hard on with some of the guys on the base running stuff. I mean, that's been really impressive. And I have a thing for base running because I think it really sets the tone for a club.
Oh my God, this conversation sucks.
Pretty cool.
And I thought our team ran the bases pretty well last year. We were successful in stolen bases. Paco works really hard on the guys, the turns, because if your turn is too wide, it's going to slow you down. And their secondaries and their leads, because base running will win you games. There is no doubt about it, and it's a skill just like hitting or you know, catching a ball or turning a double play. So you need to practice. And Paco's a great instructor. He's our first base coach, and he has 7 or 8 guys out every day.
Yep.
And they're working on it.
Well, here's Johan Camargo with the bases loaded. Solid pickup, Joe, getting Johan Camargo.
Yeah, and we're playing him all over. Like I know he can play first base, and I don't worry about him playing third, but you're going to see him play second and short. And I think it's important that, you know, however we break, that we have the ability to rest guys. We're going to play 13 days in a row to start. And no one's running out there 13 days in a row.
No.
Because their bodies aren't prepared for it. And
All right.
during the middle
Strike one now from
you don't
Brendan
necessarily
White.
do that. So he is really important to us.
This is Brendan White, who's the new pitcher.
Oh, you don't
for
need to
the
watch the
Tigers.
channel,
He
Billy.
takes over for Jacob Barnes. He's a hard-throwing right-hander.
Stop pitching like
Hey, Ruben, you could get closer to your running innings if we get a base hit here.
Then don't watch the channel.
Just okay today.
Yeah, but you could change a lot of things right here.
You're having a better day than you did the other day. I agree with that one.
Yeah, he only got 3. He's up to 4 right now.
Yep.
We have a chance to really spread things out here.
Yeah. Now, does anyone
Nobody
else
likes
besides
waiting and listening to Joe Girardi talk.
There he is, Ruben. There we go.
Ah, shit.
What a piece of
Well,
hit
you
right
got
there.
one. You got two.
All that to change the pitcher and just give up all the runs anyway.
Ruben, you're ahead of schedule
Like, they
right
could have
now.
just left the other guy in there and let that happen. What, are they going to do another pitch change?
I know that, you know,
All right, Phillies empty the bases. It's 7-1.
nice to see it busted open there a
Yeah,
little bit.
it really is, and it's set up by
Great
good
pitching there by
at-bats,
Mr.
taking
Brendan White.
advantage of one of their mistakes, right?
I guess,
And
man,
put the
it's
ball in
it's the
play.
preseason.
Tough pitch. This is on,
I don't
hated
even
on
know
the
who's
back door.
pitching for the
Just
Tigers right
slaps it
now.
down the left field line. Really
I
nice
never
piece
heard of
hitting
Brendan
by
White
Camargo,
before.
and, you know, he's had some success in the big leagues
Oh
offensively.
yeah, you know, he's just been stuck behind all-stars. I mean, that's has been his biggest issue. You know, the Braves went and got Josh Donaldson.
This is what
after
baseball's all
I thought
about,
he
the
had a pretty good
preseason?
year.
Real good.
And I thought he was going to be their everyday
Games in Florida in March?
Kind of fell in their laps, and now Austin Riley's developed.
I don't
some
think
kind
so.
Of player. So, you know, he was just kind of in the wrong place. And
This is actually like the
he's gonna add a lot.
antithesis of what baseball
Way
actually
bigger
is.
than
Yes.
I remembered him with the
You're
Brown and
you're
White, but he
actively
just seems
playing
way
your
bigger.
worst starters
he's
for
agile,
your
too.
worst
I mean,
players
you know,
for
we
short
got him
periods
short,
of times.
We feel
While your best players sit on the
it's not a guy
bench.
that you'd run out there, 150 games.
Yeah, preseason's
But we
fine.
feel
Like
like
it is what it is. I just don't
any
take a lot of
spot
stock in the
in
preseason or
the
get worked
infield
up over
and
anything.
do it well and really help us out. I mean, you think about it. You could give the third baseman off one day, the shortstop one day, the second baseman.
Especially when teams are starting to
and he
replace
gets
all
to play
their
a lot.
normal players with
Munoz
randos.
down on strikes. Well, Joe, we appreciate it as always. This was a very productive inning on a
You know,
lot of levels.
right now it's
Really
prospect
keep it going.
baseball.
You're welcome, Joe.
Thank you.
Hey, we'll see you tomorrow,
All
Joe.
right, see ya.
Joe Girardi, our guest here in the sixth
Yeah,
inning.
sure.
The
But I mean,
Phillies
most of this
score
right now, I
4
mean, the first 5 innings have come and gone.
the
It's
seventh.
we're no longer watching like actual baseball. It'll be Harold Castro, Daz Cameron, and Derek Hill, depending on if those guys actually bat this inning or if they're going to go with replacements. Commercial break, so I'm going to mute it. We might play each other this regular season. I don't know. I know at least in a couple years, maybe next season, they're gonna play. Every team's gonna play each other at least once, or once this one series. So that'll be interesting. This will probably be the last half inning I'm gonna watch. I don't really feel like watching the most of the 7th, 8th, and 9th. I'll watch the Tigers in the top of the 7th though. But at this point, it's gonna get really guys I don't really want to see, and I got shit to do this afternoon. It's just one of them things. I got fucking. And this game's pretty boring. Tigers haven't done much today, and they're already at the backup, so. All right, game's back on.
Time now for your Delaware Valley Honda Dealers game summary. As we go to the top of the
You might take a nap. Might help.
7 runs on 8 hits, 1 error for the Phillies.
Past time. It'll be Harold, Castro, Cameron, and so Castro, Cameron, and Hill.
Nick Maton is an RBI double. He's 3 for 3 in this game. Well, as we go to the top of the 7th inning, Kyle Dowie is the new pitcher for the Phils. Phillies pitchers
Kyle
have been
Dowie's the
solid
pitcher.
today.
Kyle Dowie's going to pitch.
Very well, and been impressed by the guys just throwing strikes.
It'll be
Just
Harold Castro
generally
batting.
Throwing strikes. That's such an important part of spring training, is to try to get into a rhythm, get your legs, get your mechanics together, and so far again.
Oh, those will be the games
I know it's early, but
I very
throwing strikes is probably the
selectively
most
decide to
important part
watch.
of this.
Well, he begins the 7th inning, and he will face Harold Castro. Phillies have made some changes. We'll get to those in just a moment.
Yeah, it's that time of the
First
game
pitch is
where
in
teams are
there
going to
for
start
strike, and
moving
it's
around
0-1.
to the.
Garrett Stubbs is the new catcher for the Phillies. He's battling for that backup catcher's job, as we mentioned before.
Yeah, you guys put in your back. The Phillies have put in their backups. The Tigers will this
Over at
half
first
as
base
it
is
goes
Josh
to.
Huckabee, Newman Garetti's own Josh.
Oh, and
Yes.
they're 1-1 now for
He was excited to be here.
Harold
He's been in
Castro.
camp with the Red
1-1.
Sox the last couple years. Phillies
Top
picked him up
7,
as a minor
7-1.
league free
Phillies
agent.
lead.
1 ball, 1 strike, and Castro cut
1
on
and 2.
It's 1-2.
Tell you what, I've been really impressed by Dowie. This first outing, he threw very well. His ball's coming out of his hand very, very well. He's got that high front side that for hitters is very deceptive. Throws that glove at you from up top, and then he brings it down.
Ooh.
And a line drive out to left field.
Hey, a base hit by
Base hit for
Castro.
Let's see if his afternoon is done.
That's a pretty good call right there. He's had, what, 3 at-bats now? Yes.
Castro's out for the game. Yep, this will be the last half inning I'm watching. They're just giving guys last at-bats here, it looks like. And for putting in the young guys.
All right, so Castro's day is done.
Yeah. I mean, this is going to be an interesting season for the Tigers. They should be able to contend in the wild card.
Kreidler is on to pinch run for
And
the
then,
Tigers as Cameron will be the batter.
yeah,
He's 1
we'll
for
see.
2.
A couple years away.
Cameron singled an
You guys
infield
should be
single
pretty
his
good.
first time, other
You
than
guys have
struck
made
out
quite a
his
few
last
good
time.
additions.
Phillies relievers
On top of what was
have
already a
picked up
pretty decent
7
team,
strikeouts. I say
so.
relievers because, you know, for the most part,
Pretty much.
it's been a relievers game.
Yep.
Cameron hits it back toward the middle. That could be 2. It's going to be 2.
That's gonna be 2.
very casually steps on
And
the
double
second
play.
baseman,
Cameron grounds
fires
into
to
2.
first.
Now it'll be Derek Hill with
It's
2 away in the
6-3
top of the
on
7th.
double
That's
play.
not
That's
good.
called knowing your runner. He just took his time. He knew.
Thank you, by the way, for the 19 likes so far. We're just a couple away from the overall, well, 1 away from the light goal of 20 we try to set for live reactions, but we'll just give it a good one on this one because we're not doing a full stream.
Done a nice job. He's played third base, as Joe said, but they're going to play.
Oh,
him
yeah,
a lot
Billy, I know.
all
Yeah.
over all over the field, and he's one of those guys who's kind of instinctive and
What's up,
makes
Rochester?
things sort of look easy sometimes.
Yep, Billy. Yep.
All right, so now Dowie will face
It's also why they're
Derek
thinking
Hall.
about keeping the runner at on
Hill,
second
excuse me,
in
and
extra
Hill is
innings
0 for 2.
for
He's
this
reached
season,
on
or for a little
error.
while this season.
And he's flat out to right
They're not
field.
sure how well pitchers' arms are going to get warmed up.
Vest is warming up in the bullpen. Jack Lopez is on deck for the Tigers.
Oh, and 1 count. Here's the
Got all
pitch,
kinds of
and
things
it'll
happening here at Care
be
Ballpark.
ball up high.
Spring training games, it just blows up my card in a hurry.
Chad Durbin is doing some
Yeah, I
radio
like the
for the
DH rule
Phillies.
too.
He's,
Good rule.
still
What's
trying
up?
to
How you doing, man?
formulate the scorecard, Ruben. You can help him out with that.
Rochester.
I'm still trying to formulate mine as well.
Phillies and Tigers. Yeah, they're fine teams, Cole.
Real good looking changeup right there. Good arm action.
What was
As
it,
I
like
said,
77 and
creates a lot of
something?
deception with that high front side.
I think they won 75, 77.
Yeah, Kyle Dowie did really well. We mentioned this the other day.
Yep.
Really well in Double-A last year. Not as
With
well
a
in
pretty
AAA.
rough-looking roster, but this year things look a lot better.
If he does this,
Ah.
this movement with his fastball, he should be in pretty good shape. He's in pretty good shape. Thanks
That'll
to his
end the inning,
defense.
and that'll
Here is-
end my watching of this game. Basically, I'm going to take off here because I got a few things I got to do. But, you know, It's going to be like the bottom of the 7th. The Phillies will bat. The top of the 8th. The Phillies will bat in the bottom. And then the game ends in the top of the 9th. So it's not really missing much, just basically an inning and a half, or really just an inning. I'm missing the bottom of the 7th, 8th, or I guess 2 innings. So, all right, I got to get out of here, guys, because I got stuff I got to go do. I thank everyone for tuning in this afternoon. It was very, very kind. I appreciate you watching with me. We will be live tomorrow for probably the similar length of games because I do have classes tomorrow at 4 o'clock or at 5. So got to get out of here by 4, and we'll see how it all plays out. So the rest of the game will be kind of lame, kind of slow anyway. So not really going to miss much. The Phillies will take a W. So GG to the Phillies. Again, thank you so much for all the likes as well. I appreciate that. We're at 19. If you haven't left one, consider maybe doing so on the way out. If not, that's totally fine. Yeah, for sure, Rochester. Yeah, exactly. I'll probably be live tonight anyway. Just depends on how quickly I can get things done here. So, all right. Thank you guys for listening. I'll see you later. If not later tonight, I'll see you tomorrow for the Tigers. If not then I'll see you when I can see you next. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day, morning, night, whenever you listen, if you're listening in the future. That's pretty much it. Yep. Go Lions, go Patriots, and, of course, go Tigers. I'll